make strong men.
Right.
When we see crap like this in, you got to do something, man.
Don't fool yourself. We still in slavery.
We being hanged, we being killed, and they love doing it.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ, bless you all. Shalom, shalom. Let's get it all together. Let's get it all together. Getting all adjusted. Turn me up just a little bit. Turn me up a little bit. Turn me up just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think I sound all right. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome again. Welcome again. Check out our new studio, right? You like it, right?
That's it.
All praise to the Most High.
That's right.
Let's give the Lord a hand for that thing.
All praise.
Oh man! Well, we have an exciting show for you today.
Yes,
I'm Bishop Yawasop. Most High in Christ bless you all. And as we prepare and go down into the Sabbath, let's just get my crew in, and we're gonna get it on in.
Hey, shalom, Israel. Captain Sarai, Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom, Israel. Captain Nahshon. Most High in Christ bless you.
Shalom, Israel. Officer Ezekiel. Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Officer Azari.
Wow, got a full studio. Where's the line, Kim at? He on the side. He didn't want to say nothing. What the hell is this?
Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless.
All praise to the Most High. All right.
Yes, sir.
Wow. First of all, we celebrated our Passover, and it was an exciting, beautiful event. And we got some surprises coming up all night long.
Yes, sir.
Tonight we're going to 9 o'clock because I got to bring out some stuff that we dealt with over in Kumasi, Ghana, as well as in Accra.
Yes, sir.
In Africa. So when we held our Passover, we were dispatched all over the planet Earth. We blitzed the planet Earth. Now,
Right.
Yes,
I'm gonna let my next brother, Deacon Abiel, he gonna deal with that.
All praise.
But all praise to the Most High. The Most High put the spirit on Bishop Nathaniel to set the order, and we went and blitzed the planet. I myself was in Ghana along with Captain Amaziah as well as Captain Yediah. So we went and we really had to do some great work over there, and I'll just leave it at that. During this series that I'm going into, first of all, I'm going to go into some of the things that we've seen and what we experienced when we went over in Kumasi as well as Accra. And we saw some things, and we want to bring those things back to you. So this class is going to really take a serious note. We're smiling now, but it's going to some real serious stuff is about to come out in this episode. So the mood is going to change quite a bit. So I just wanted to just mention those things now off from the offset. And let's get on into it. Let's get this disclaimer out the way.
Yes, sir.
I got to get my mood back. I'm overseas, and now I'm here. Got to get my got to get
back in the flow, right?
Got to get back in the flow. So just bear with me for a few minutes.
Yes,
Come on with it.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
All praise to the Most High. So we're going to get right into it. Put up the thumbnail. This is what we're going to go into today. Okay. This topic is Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. That's what we're talking about. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the Black Death. It's a hell of a title. Kind of a strange title, but let me just explain what you're looking at before we delve into it. Credits go out to my AV team, Officer Kazdiel and Officer Yehoshua, and I know there's a few of the brothers that come up with these titles, and perhaps I know there's a full team of brothers and sisters that work together to bring forth these titles and these thumbnails. So as I was looking at it, I can actually see it much clearer now because we, got a decent sized screen in here. I see that got our brother on the left with the hands in shackles. And at first when I saw the thumbnail, I didn't get it, and I was actually telling the brother, I said, "Listen, man, give me a different one," because I didn't readily understand it. But then when I examined it, I could see where the brothers and the sisters got the idea to put this together. So as you see, the hands are bound together in chains. And basically what that's pointing out is that the scriptures in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, describes us in bondage, and that bondage has led to what you see on the other side, the violence and the messed up situation that we're in today, which is known what we're going to call the Black Death. There are a lot of things that has happened to us as a people during this process that have gotten us to be where we are today. But the reason why I wanted to speak about this is because our job is to make the Bible real to our people, and man, you're going to see some realism. Okay, you're going to see some realism. So let me make this point, and then we're going to just get on into the lesson. I ain't going to spend a lot of time talking. I just want to get right into it. Okay, we're in part 1. So Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the Black Death. This is part 1. This is part 1 of a lengthy and disturbing, detailed series of our history as to how the death occurred. Okay, mainly the death of our minds in succeeding generations up until right now, until the day. So we're going to talk about, as we read the scriptures, we're going to read the scriptures along with bringing out video and things that we actually saw when we experienced that when we traveled. Yes, okay. Inside this title, I want to show the parallels of the scriptures to our actual lives today. I also seek to draw your attention to the fact that we died as a result of our disobedience against the Most High, who is our Creator. Okay, because we had to pay a price for that. This is Deuteronomy 28, chapter 15, if we didn't keep the commandments of the Most High. Okay, this is where the Black Death and the death blow came upon the 12 tribes of Israel. So when we read this Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and actually bring out the scriptures and actually parallel those with actual events in history, you're going to find out that this Bible is indeed the book of your fathers. It is indeed the true book. That's what we're going to deal with today, okay?
That's right. Bring it out.
Some people in their naivety, in their naiveness, they would wonder. They would say, why is it that black people just can't seem to get themselves together? You know, people say this. You hear people of the other nations, my God, you've been over here for so many years and this and that and the other. You just can't get it. And they say this about black folks. They say this about Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, all of us.
Right.
They say, how is it that these people just can't get themselves together? And the reason, and I call it naivety, because they're naive to what really, well, I mean, in reality, they do know, but they have some idea about what happened to us. But the reason why we seem to not be able to get it together is because people do not really understand what really happened to us. And I'm talking about the levels of the violence that really happened. When we were over there, myself, Captain Amaziah, Captain Yediah, and the brothers, you know, we were actually talking to the people that was giving us the tour guides through these areas. And the stuff that they were bringing out was like, wow. It was like, and I mean, we read the Bible every day.
Right.
We going into history books damn near every day.
Right.
But the stuff that they were bringing out was like beyond that. So we're going to bring that out to you today.
Sir,
so
yes,
I told you it's going to be hell. It's going to be something else, you know. It's because nearly every one of those people are asking, they don't really understand what happened to us. So we're getting ready to get into it. And I want to make this point here, okay? Give me the Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. We're going to start there, okay? Because the point is that our enemies know exactly what they've done to us, and it's like I've always been saying. You'll have people that deal with us in violence and leave us in a condition, then they step back and say, look at them. So they know the condition of what they've done to us, and everybody else is looking at it and say, why they can't get themselves together, this and that and the other. So they basically wrote us off as insignificant. They like nobody cares about them. Nobody's interested in them. And we carry that. One of the most destructive things that I saw over there, me and Captain Amaziah, and that, as a matter of fact, all of us, is that they still, I'm talking about the people over there, our people in Africa. Do you know they still worship a white Jesus? This day, and I mean white images of pictures, white posters with Caesar Borgia on their cars, Caesar Borgia on their churches, on their bumpers, every damn thing. And we went to several radio stations tearing ass up. I'm telling you, we got to bring that in too.
Black country.
Yes, we went in. I think we did like about 7 or 8 shows. Some TV shows, and we did some and some radio shows, and a good portion of our deliverance of the gospel was just tearing up that daggone meaning with the scriptures, tearing up that lie about Christ being a white man.
Right.
So that's going to come in further episodes because I got a lot to show you on this one. We ain't even get to the radio shows yet. I just got to bring out the history of the things that we dealt with when we were over there. So like I said, this is a lengthy process. So without much talking, let's get right into it. Let's read that scripture.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before...
We're going to have to stand in great boldness when that time comes. Read it again.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
That's the part that I want. Before the face of such which have afflicted us. The ones that afflicted us, they're the ones that know exactly what they did to us. And it began primarily in this period that we're going to bring out in this history. Now, we've caught captivities. We've had captivities way before this. I'm talking about the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, through the Moab. You had Moab captivity, had Ammon captivity. This is in the Bible. Yes, sir. You've had the Assyrian captivity, the Persians, the Babylonians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. So we was in captivity up under all of them, coming all the way up to the day. You know, Rome, destruction of Jerusalem in 70 A.D. So we had a lot of destructions that happened to us, but the death blow came with what they call the transatlantic slave trade and the sub-Saharan slave trade. I'm gonna mention both of those, okay? And just like the brothers over there that was doing the tour, and I like what he said, because we're gonna play him. The brother said that we don't use the word trade. He said we use the word trafficking because that's exactly what it was. Right. The slave trafficking. Because trade make it sound like it's an even exchange or something. Right. That was what you call crime. That was criminal activity. So I like that. That's what he called it, and that's what we're going to call it. So thank you to my brother over there, and we gonna play that clip as well. So it's important to note that. Read that again.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Before the face of them that have afflicted us. So they know what they did to us. So they expect our enemies. Our enemies expect us to stay in the way they put us. So when we wake up and we decide to stand up like righteous men and women and stand up, and then we operate outside of the mold by which they said was relegated towards us, now all of a sudden they upset. And that's the reason why we get called hate group and all the rest of it, because they say you're breaking the mold of which I meant for you to be. So let's understand that. So read that again.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
So why am I having this part read? Because I'm making the point that our enemies have basically wrote us off to be nothing, wrote us off to be insignificant. So I'm saying that because the people around the world are looking at us and they say, why is it that black people can't get themselves together? Why is it that the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, the Cubans, Mexicans, why they can't get themselves together and run stuff like we run stuff, like they stand up and they run in companies or something, right? Why is it? And that's because the world really doesn't know the hidden horrors that has happened to our fathers. But we're going to bring that out, okay? And we're going to bring out the deliverance. We always got to bring a solution to what we bring out, okay?
Right. That's right.
So read that again and let's move on. We're going to read verse 1 and then we're going to jump to verse 4. Come on.
Sir. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors.
That's the insignificance, and made no account of our labors. These were men, women, these were grown-ups, these were children, grandmothers, wives, husbands, dignitary people. They wrote us off like we was nothing. Read that last part again.
And made no account of his labors.
And made no account of of what we were, what we represented, didn't give a living damn about us at all. So that is a level of cruelty that has happened to our people, okay? And that cruelty have lasted very, very long periods of time. We're going to bring all that out. Read.
Verse 4.
Yes, sir.
We fools accounted his life madness.
That's because that's when we wake up. But look at what they said. They counted our lives as if it was nothing. Our lives as if it was madness. No respect, no dignity, totally insignificant. That's how they deal with us. And they do it so well and do it so much, we will begin to believe that we're insignificant towards each other. Right. We actually deal with each other in disrespect and insignificance. Right.
Right.
Okay? Is there more on that?
Yes, sir.
Read.
And his end to be without honor.
And they said that our end is to be without honor, meaning barely, like they don't even deserve a proper grave. That's how they deal with us. Like no need of no nobility, no nothing.
Right.
So that's where they want us to be. Okay, yeah. But the hell with what they want. We're the children of the Most High, and we're going to get our deliverance.
Right. That's right.
Okay, so I just want to make that point. Now we're getting ready to get into some things here, and I made a point of writing certain things down because I wanted to make sure that I go into succession by which I have it here. Now the Spirit might take me in other directions, but primarily I want to deal with how I have it outlined in this lesson because I want to take my time and bring this information out to you brothers and sisters properly, okay? Because this is a lot of information, okay? So, again, I make the point. I said we were written off as insignificant. I'm just making that point because that's how our enemies dealt with us. And it's important to understand that we have real enemies, okay? When we talk about enemies, I'm talking about our natural enemies. Although we can go off and do something to each other, and talking about as our neighbors, like my brothers here, you know, we can act enemious, if you will, towards each other. But that's the love of thy enemy, if you will, because the turning the other cheek is supposed to make you look at what you did to me, and so forth. Right. So there's a conscience that we have when we do wrong to each other. Right. But if you have a rattlesnake to bite you, there ain't no turn the other cheek. It's gonna bite you again because a natural enemy is meant to do just what we just got through reading, destroy us. Right. So let's understand those things there. So again, I'm making a point about the death blow. Okay. So where and when did the death blow really occur that has destroyed us beyond the very will for us to even be free? We don't even want to be free now. We've been destroyed so bad. Yep. We don't even really crave freedom. Okay, and I'm talking about real freedom. I ain't talking about to get a job and all that. Right. To have your own land, to have your own resources, to have your own everything. That's the freedom you want. Your own power to control your own destiny, set up your own world. That's the freedom that we're looking for. Right. Okay. So like I pointed out, the death blow came. It occurred as we were destroyed. And the destruction happened to our very will to be free. It happened in the dungeons of Cape Coast at Amina, and Cape Coast at Amina, Africa. Mind you, there are several of these castles. Now we're getting ready to show you what I'm talking about. When I say Cape Coast, there were several castles, the slave dungeons where we were. Okay, so I'm going to bring that. I'm going to start to bring that information out. Okay, it happened in the dungeons of Cape Coast Castle at Amina in Africa. Mind you, there are several of these castles of dungeons built on the Gold Coast of Ghana. In fact, nearly 80% of the 50 of these castles that were built exist in Africa primarily exist in Ghana. So out of nearly 50 castles, 40 of them exist in Ghana. Damn. That's what you gonna hear this man say. They're gonna bring all this information out. Okay, so now let's go through and show some of the castles. We're gonna look at the Cape Coast castle site. Okay. Show that up there. Go to the big show that. Okay. Now they're looking at it on the film. Just click through those pictures. These are different castles now we're looking at. These are slave. So you can understand when I say castles, don't think of don't think of something like some fairy tale.
Right.
Castles meaning forts where the dungeons are, and man, you're getting ready to hear and see some real stuff that's gonna mess your heads up. So just move around. Don't move too fast. Listen. Let's open up. Let's see some of these images. Don't just show them all bunched up like that. Click them and let's go in them and look at them. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let them see it like that. That looked like the one that we was at. Okay, that's the one. That's the Cape Coast. Now, most of them. Well, no, that one is. That's the Cape Coast. That's the one we was at, where you see the cannons there. Those were to deal with the long range. When the other Europeans tried to come in and move in on the property, meaning us, like they were fighting over us. You had different groups of Europeans, like the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Danes, the Swedes, all British. They were all fighting, trying to get us, fighting over us. So when they set that fort up, they were fighting off other Europeans while they were out in the water. So you see the long cannons there. You know, then zoom in. There's a short one.
On down.
On the right
back,
side.
right there. Zoom in on that. Come down. Right there. Where you got the pointer at. Right there. And see all those balls there. Can we zoom in any further? Okay.
Yes.
Bring it down. Just bear with me, brothers and sisters. We get ready to get all into it. These now, we see those are basically like little short guns. And those were to get the other Europeans who was trying to move in. Once they got to shore, then you use the short range cannons to take them out, and that's what those balls represented. That's the real stuff there. That's not reenactment. That's not stage props. That's what they really use. That's the real stuff there. So that's what that was about. And all of the forts had that. All of the castles had that, because their objective was to keep us in slavery. Okay. So that, and they said, these are my slaves, and you're not taking them. Right. Whether you're Dutch, whether you're Portuguese, whether you're Spanish, whatever. Whoever had the fort, they were fighting off the rest of them, because they were fighting over us. So that's just some preliminary warm up. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. So come back to those pictures. Let's come out. Let's just go. Zoom back out. Stay with me, brothers. Zoom back out. Now let's just slide through those pictures real quick. We're just going to go through them. Okay. Let's go through them. Let's go through the. Notice how big that castle is. And these castles held nearly 1,000 slaves, quote unquote slaves, at a time. 1,000. Okay. Let's slide. Let's just move through. Let's move through them. If you got to do that, just go back to the general picture. So that's the entrance to the slave dungeon. That's just one of them. Okay. That's the entrance to it. Now, we actually got video to back this up. Okay, so I'm just showing you all this here. And those castles, they were not lit up. Now they light them up so when they do their tours, people can see what it is. But when you went in there, back then during that time, it was pitch black. And you ain't seen nothing. So, all right, let's come out of this. So that one is Cape Coast Castle site. Now get the Amina, the castle at Amina.
So I guess, Bishop, during the time they coming to those castles, like I said, it wasn't no light like what we used to
exactly.
Today,
And when we was in there,
they might have had a torch or something just to guide through, but it's pitch black in there.
You ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to get horrible. I'm just building y'all up.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Give me the castles. Now, I don't want this. Come on. Move around.
I saw it down there.
Yeah, come down. Right, there it is. Okay, don't be showing no amusement parks and all that. Click that one there. That's the Amina Castle. That's the one where some of the brothers went to. We didn't get to see that one on this particular trip because there's so many of them, and we actually pressed for time. We had to drive like 5 hours we had to drive 5 hours from Kumasi to get to this Cape Coast castle to see what we actually see and recorded and all of that. And we got a lot to bring out. And we had to get back because we had a radio show at 6 p.m. So we were there for about an hour. We was there about almost 2 hours. Okay. So we were trying our best to get every piece of information that we could get within that time frame. Right. Okay. Right. So we were nearly on the road that day for like 10 hours, total. All right. So that's what you're looking at. Let the people see these things when y'all show them up, because I want people to see what we're looking at. Okay. Y'all be on point in there, like I said earlier. So you can see these castles were not small, and there's a whole dungeon area where they kept us, men, women, and children. They even I'm gonna just prematurely speak about some things just to make sure that I get those points in before the show runs out. They had in the dungeons they kept the black men. There's another dungeon where they kept the women. Then they have a room that's called the suffocation room. The suffocation room, and that's where they would take the women. The reason why they had a suffocation room was because when the colonialist so-called masters wanted to rape them or get them to do certain kind of services to and for them, and if they rebelled, they would put all these rebellious women in their mind, put them inside the suffocation room. Now I'm going to describe the room. I didn't put it in this particular episode, but I'm going to describe it. But we're going to bring them images in because, like I said, this is a lengthy video. This is a lengthy series. We're going to go through all that. I'm going to try to bring on every dang on thing I saw over there and bring it to the brothers and sisters back here. So in this room, I'm going to just give you an idea of what it was like. Let's say you have a room that's about, 50 feet by 50 feet, right? And then you stuff it to capacity with everyone in it. Now, when you go inside, the ceilings are high, okay? The ceilings are high. And the ceilings are high, but the doorway is low. So when the sisters were put in there and they're constantly breathing, that hot air is going up and it's trapped in the ceiling.
Right.
It's not escaping. There's no hole for it to go out. There's no exchange for carbon, what they call carbon dioxide and and oxygen and all that. The carbon dioxide that comes from your lungs stays in the room, and you will suffocate if you don't get oxygen. So what was being done was that they would leave them sisters in there for hours and hours and hours until they started dying. And then they would bring the dead bodies out and let the rest of the slaves see that. And that was like a lesson to teach. Do not go against what we demand you to do. That's what was called the suffocation room. They were suffocating our people into that thing. We saw that. Wow. So that's just some of the hey, listen, put up suffocation room. Let's see if we could just pull up a picture of the suffocation room.
Bishop, you mentioned that when they put them in there is because they were rebellious against them because they didn't want to get raped. They put them in there. That might take that. Well, I'm pretty sure that'll take the fight out of them.
Yes. You know, I think I saw some pull up. No, that wasn't it. Okay, suffocation room in the castles, in the slave castles, Let's just see what pops up. Because if nothing pops up, don't worry. I'm going to bring it in there. Do you see? Is there anything that shows a suffocation room? If not, don't worry. I'm going to bring it in on the next episode.
Try to put the name of the castle real quick, brothers.
Put the name of the castle in there.
I thought I saw something up top. Go up top again.
Okay. It was at Cape Coast.
Slave punishment cell.
The punishment cell.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. It was in these cells that they did this kind of stuff. Okay. In the punishment cell. But don't worry. We're going to bring it out. We got the records. We got the receipts. Okay. So, But there's an example.
The short door.
See the short door, and up that all that air is trapped. Okay, so that's the deal with that. That's just an example. But like I said, we got the raw footage. Okay, we're gonna bring that in. So all right, let's come out of that. So that was what castle are we dealing with here? This was Cape Coast Castle.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, all right. Now let's go to the Amina Castle. This is the one where the dumb sisters went twerking on. I'm gonna mention that. Yeah, I'm gonna call them dumb because they ain't make no damn sense to go over there. If you don't know what to do, just stay the hell in America and play with your damn dolls or something. Don't be going over there making a mess. You don't know what to do, just stay home. Okay.
Scroll down, see if it's something a little bigger, a little closer.
Right. See, as you can see, we're going to get to the dungeons in a minute. You ain't got to look for the dungeons now. I just want them to see the outside of the castles. We got the dungeon pictures, believe me. Just show what the castles look like so they can see the sizes of them and how big they were. And they had us packed to the brim, packing us up in there. And remember, there was nearly 50 of these things packed to the brim with 1,000 slaves. "Quote unquote" slaves for over 300 years. And the brother that's going to speak, he's in this video. I'm gonna bring him up. The brother that was giving us the toy, he was really talking with us, and he pointed out that out of every 10, 7 of them died before they even made it to America. 7 to 8 of them died. Only 2 out of every 10 made it for over 300 years. Wow. So that's the kind of death we're dealing with. With that kind of background, with that kind of history, what kind of sanity are we going to have? Like I've been saying before, for us to even have any semblance of sanity right now is beyond a miracle. We're all supposed to be crazy coming from this.
Right.
That's the Black Death. That's what we're dealing with. Traumatized and everything. Because all of this stuff gets passed down in your genes. Gets passed down in your genes.
Our sanity is completely gone. Like you mentioned, Bishop, them sisters are go to this place and twerk on it.
Yeah.
That's telling you right there. You know. And that's why they would call us animals, because we don't care about our lives. We don't care about our own lives.
No.
They call us savages and all of that.
Here's the next castle. So we got Cape Coast Castle. We got the Amina Castle. Now we got the Christenborg Castle.
Christenborg?
Yeah, Christenborg. B-O-U-G. I had to look that one up because he mentioned it. This one right here. We didn't even see this one. But the brother that was telling us about it mentioned this. So I said, well, let me look it up because he only mentioned it. He only mentioned it once. I researched it and this popped up. So just show some insides of that.
That look like a prison.
Yeah. So that's how they did it. So that's that one there. There's slave dungeons in there. That's my point. Don't look at it. Don't look at this as if this is just some nice place to live. Right. This was dungeons are in these things, you know. And what was crazy, Captain Amaziah pointed out, because we were livid over this. He made the point that because the people that's living over there, they can't even afford to go in there. Damn. So the majority of them on the outside selling trinkets, selling plantain chips, right, bags of water on their head, stuff like that. And they're right outside the castles, and they basically don't know anything about what's going on in there. Dang. That was, I'm telling you, it's beyond the eye opener to see how messed up our people are. Right. It really is. It really took a lot just to make it through that mentally. Okay. All right. So now, so I said, now outside of showing you the slave fort castles, there was a prior stage of our slavery trafficking operation by our enemies. And that stage was called the last bath. That's what we're getting ready to go into now. The last bath. A lot of people probably don't even know what I'm talking about when I mention that. The last bath. Because there's a whole history that deals with the last bath. It's basically the bath area where they would bathe us, quote unquote, before they transported us. I'm using the word transported with quotes. Before they transported us from the last bath to the castles where we were being held and stored, waiting for the ships to come in to take us to Barbados, to take us to Haiti, to take us to America, wherever. And even in certain areas in Europe, they were taking us. This was basically the staging area where they kept us as we waited for the ships to come in. And then they'll take whatever left of us that survived in them dungeons, they put us on those ships to take us to these different areas. It's crazy. Right. It's crazy. So from the last bath to the castles was nearly 80 kilometers, which is about like 50 miles. And we had to walk that. That's a whole nother lesson, but I'm going to talk about it in here. We had to walk that. And remember, there weren't no roads like they got they got paved roads. Right. It was all brush, forest, which means wild animals, all kind of things going out. So we had to go through all of them. We're going to get into all that information about how we had to trek through 80 kilometers or 50 miles on foot with no shoes, getting scratched up by branches and this and that. And meanwhile, the man behind you with a whip and a gun, making us walk with no shoes on for 50 miles, for 50 damn miles. Right. You understand? So there's a whole nother level of information I'm going to bring out concerning that. And you're going to find out how cruel and vicious this beast really is. Okay? So now, let's see where I'm at. The last bath. There's a storyboard painted on the outside of that last bath location. This was when we were driving from Kumasi to get to Elmina, we came by, right, you brothers got it on point. Don't play it yet. We passed by this area here because the brothers is leading us. We don't know where we at in terms of how to get to so-and-so. So we got to this part here, okay? And when we got to this part, I got out of the car. Now I'm about to show you a video, right? That's what's about to pop up, right, brothers? Yes, sir. Okay, so this is me getting out, and you can show it on the film because we're about to play it. You put it up on the screen. Okay, since you put, that's me. You can turn the sound up if there's any sound. This is me walking up. Now, I got my brothers behind me. I ain't out there by myself. Okay, pause it right there. Welcome to Asin Manso Slave River site.
Wow.
That's what that is. So that is where you go through. As you can look in the background, we're going to play some little video to this.
Yes, sir.
As you can see, that's a storyboard that I'm about to speak about. On those walls, there's paintings. Now, I know this was redone because that ain't the original painting, but it was basically showing you what it's basically like a storyboard of our history,
right? About
what happened to us. So they got it in stages. I'm about to zoom in and show you some of this stuff here. Okay, mm-hmm. So basically, what this is the real life illustrated history of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. That's the reason why I wanted to do this particular program tonight, because I want you to see that Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, is in full live effect.
Right.
Okay, so now go ahead, play the video, brothers.
Shackles on the ankles.
Right, you see all that. Now that's how they dressed us up. So I'm taking a picture, and I actually got the picture on my phone, but this works pretty well. So as we're looking at this, so it's amazing. Now, as just pause it right there. Mm-hmm. You can put it back on me. It's amazing because it's like I'm trying to actually be somewhat of a documentarian, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Trying to make sure that whatever images because I'm talking to the brothers with the cameras, the recorders, and all that. Right. I said, make sure y'all get this, make sure you get that, all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing that while at the same time I'm getting, there's an overwhelmingness that's happening with me.
Reality.
So there's a reality that's going on in both cases. So it's like realizing what's happening at the same time, still doing my duty as I guess as a reporter, loosely,
yes, sir,
to report this information back to my brothers. So this is the real deal here. So so as you can see, let it play again. Let it play again because I want to show that wall behind it. Okay. When you get up close, I want you to notice. You see that yellow and blue trim wall in the back, right there.
Yes, sir.
Right there. On that wall, there's like I said, a storyboard of the stages of what happened to us from capture all the way to being sold, all the way to being brought over here in slavery, and eventually when we got quote unquote emancipated. All of that's on that wall, painted there. So now let's get to the pictures. Now after this, we actually walked up, and this is what's on the walls over there. Mm-hmm. Slave raiding, right? That's when they raided us. This was because like I said, there was two parts of this trade. You had the Arabs, which was known as the sub-Saharan slave trade, yes, or slave trafficking, and then you had the transatlantic slave trafficking. So this right here is the brothers who painted this. I think the brother told me that I think this was like done up in like 1985. I think he said something, gave the year. Something like that, but it's basically to preserve what was originally there, to give some historical record of knowing what happened to us. Okay, so that wall there said is slave. So let's zoom in on these pictures. That's the reason why I took these pictures. Okay, let's zoom in and let's get a look at what we're looking at. So slave raiding. You see how they had us tied up with logs? That's how they walked us. Right. To where we were going, okay?
Those 50 miles.
That 50 miles. Now, move to the next one. Because they had to walk us to this part, by the way.
So, Bishop, imagine one of them fell.
Yes.
Right.
That's it. That's
by the neck. The thing is wrapped around the neck.
That's
that
the
means
whole
it's pulling everybody down.
Even that's psychological.
Yes.
Even that's psychological because if four of y'all are chained up together or like the log and one of y'all get weak, the three are going to look at that one like, yo, you're messing up our step. You understand what I'm saying? And we're all in captivity. But look at the evil behind it.
Right.
That's letting you know these people deal with Satan.
Right.
To think of that level of evil, they sit down with Satan. We have to understand that ain't the enemies our people supposed to be loving.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now to talk about so from the raiding of us, go back to the other picture. I want to just follow the story. So slave raiding. Okay. So they raided our villages and took us and captured us. Now go to the next slide. Okay. Then they got the transportation of the slaves. That's when they were transporting us. Okay. So this and you got that's Esau that's leading it.
Right.
So again, there's even this what's this documentary, Goodbye Uncle Tom? They were showing how they were making the slaves walk through the mountains and all types of stuff.
Right.
Over all that rough terrain, even in the boats, had the white man fanning them. I mean, they were fanning the white man and all that. Same kind of situation going on here. Okay? Because even I imagine at some point they had to go over some water. You know? But this is what was happening. Go to the next slide.
I'll tell you too, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
In the movie Apocalypto, they show a real vivid scene of them, like you said, tied together, and they walking on the edge, ledges of mountains, and one of the guys fall off, and the guy whooping him and said, "No, leave him, don't help him."
Wow!
And then they end up cutting him off and watching him fall down the mountain.
Now,
so this is actually happened to the Northern Kingdom.
Exactly. Hey, you know I ain't leaving them out.
Yeah,
this happened to them too.
Yeah.
Now what's amazing is because I didn't say it yet, but when you mentioned about how they cut him off and let him go. The tour guide, the brother, I think his name was Divine. What was it? I wrote his name down in here. It was a brother that was giving the tour. He actually goes into that and how they did it, and we're gonna play that. We're gonna play that. Now the amazing thing is when I actually get to that video, I hope that I get to it because it's like way down in the lesson, and you know when we were dealing with our cameras. The camera didn't get the video of it, but I had my phone. As you can see, I'm carrying my phone. I'm recording the audio. So what I had done, I had the brothers to put some slides, some renditions to, so brothers and sisters keep their mind going while they're listening to all this. But y'all will see that. So what we're looking at here is that, so we went from the rating of, what did I say? The rating, what was the first part that it said?
Slave rating.
Right, slave raiding, then the transportation of slaves. That's where we're going now. The transporting was in the boats, and then the next one said what? We're just going to move through them. Transportation of slaves. What was the next one? The capture. Got the capture. That's when that's that part that you was talking about, making us walk, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go on to the next one. Then look how they got it and got the gun on us. Captives arriving at the castles. That's that long 50 miles that I was talking about. They had to walk from the bath all the way to that. To the castles, to be stuffed in a room, and those that rebel will put in suffocation rooms. That's just the beginning of it. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet, but we about to get there. We about to get there. Next slide. Punishment. This was for the women. Punishment. They put that metal mask on her. That's talking about. Zoom in on that. That's what they were doing. So I wanted to make sure I took them pictures good because I knew that we were going to need them. So this is what that metal mask was about. That was about punishment. Okay. Zoom back out. Zoom back out. The next one. What's the next one? What did that say? Branding. This is when they branded their names on us. Look how our hollowing and all that. Sticking them hot irons in our back. Branding their names on us. Okay. And that's what they were doing. With different Europeans were buying us, so-called buying us. Right. They actually, like if it was Chase Bank, I'll just use those, different insurance companies or whatever, they actually was purchasing property. Purchasing property and stamping their names on us. Some hell of a stuff here. Yes. Pull back out of that. Okay, next slide. So they said branding of captives. Come on, next one. Now the last bath. This is what I was talking about here. That's when they put us in the, call ourselves washing us off to get us ready for that long walk. Again, to get to those castles. Look at that.
Just like that scene you point out, Uncle Tom, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's what they were doing with us. With the chains on us.
Wow.
With the chains still on us. Okay, come out of this. So I'm just going through this thing. What's next? Merchant and his slaves. Look at this. Damn.
Wow.
Okay. So this ain't comic books. This is actually on the walls over there. Right. And we were literally at the place where the baths, where they actually did this.
Right.
We were literally there.
Wow.
There. Go ahead, come out of this. Okay, what's after this here? Auctioning us off. Reduce, like if there was a like
blemish or
something like right. And we're gonna get into all. I'm just showing you all of this. This happened before the dungeons. The dungeons came after this. This is supposed to be priming us for sale at the dungeons. Next clip.
Bishop, I just wanted to say, and a blemish, probably most likely
it was caused by them.
That they caused.
Yes, absolutely. Right. 100%.
Right. Teeth knocked out the mouth.
All that. Yes.
Broken arm or something.
Exactly. That is what they did. We didn't have no damn blemishes on us before they came and messed with us.
Right.
They were making Tyrone then.
Damn.
Go ahead. Next one. Zoom in on that. Well, I think I took another picture of that. There you go. That's them selling us. And look at the people sitting on the side. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Columbine, the football today.
Yep.
Jesus.
Same thing.
Next clip. Okay. Now y'all know about this here.
Boy. Oh, boy.
The slave ships packed up like sardines.
Man. Arrangement of the slaves and shit.
All that. They got that painted on the walls over there.
Wow. This is a reality.
This is reality. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm just warming you up. Next one. What we got after this here? Okay, and then now fight for freedom. This is us trying to fight. This is us fighting, trying to get out of captivity. Okay. Next one. Fight for freedom. And this was us quote unquote being emancipated. So they basically put the whole storyboard of what happened to us. That's basically what this is about. Okay. Now go to the next one. There was one more. And that was supposed to be us returning back to the motherland.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that was what that wall was significant of showing. So I wanted to show you that they had a storyboard of our history painted over there. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out.
So Bishop, before you move to your next point, can y'all just play 30 seconds of that clip I just put in?
Yes, sir.
It goes right in line with what Bishop was talking about. It's at the very bottom. Goes right in line with what we were just talking about, how it started off with that walk, okay? The raiding, right? It started off with the raiding, and then they tied us together. So we're just going to play 30 seconds of it. This is a clip from, it's walking the cliff edge scene from Apocalypto. Same thing happened to the Northern Kingdom. Just play the very beginning to 30 seconds. Go ahead. Just want them to see that right quick. Y'all got the disclaimer up. All right. Look, here it is right here.
Damn, that's exactly how it was.
Yep.
Same way you
making us walk. Damn, there's it right on point.
Yep.
That's how they were doing it. That's how they were doing it. I just want y'all to know. And notice they ain't got no shoes on.
Nope, no shoes.
That's how they did us.
Right.
That's the shit that we went through.
That's it. That's all I need right there.
That's what we went through. So y'all can see that this good for us to see these things. This is good for us to see these things. So let me make a point of thanking our brothers and sisters who supported the Booster Club.
Yes, definitely.
That allowed us to go overseas and to see these events and bring these things back to you, brothers and sisters. So we want to thank our brothers and sisters for supporting the Booster Club and all the people that have done so. And as you can see, we don't play with people's donations.
Right.
We go and get the facts and go and teach this gospel to our people so that we can all get the hell out of captivity. Right. But in our duty of doing this, we want to bring this information back to you to let you know how our people have been treated all over this planet. Let's play the video. International Passover 2024. IUIC.
IUIC is about works. You can't have works without action. So right now, as the ambassadors of Christ, IUIC is conducting the first ever International Passover and showing gratitude and thanks to all Booster Club members and those who have sent in donations. From the depths of Babylon to all across the planet, there were flown out officers, captains, deacons, and the bishops, once again across borders, but this time for the Lord's Passover. With over 100 men traveling across all 7 continents and 24 countries, which includes the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Cameroon, Canada, Ecuador, France, Ghana, Grenada, Guyana, Hawaii, India, Jamaica, Kenya, Liberia, London, Malawi, the Midlands, the Netherlands, Germany, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, South Africa, Suriname, and Tijuana.
Hey, Sloan, Captain Kimuel here. Mission number 76 of the Booster Club. We just landed in Paramaribo, Suriname.
Captain Rubber here. All praise. We just landed in Honolulu, Hawaii for Booster Club Mission 77.
Captain Azariah here. Just touched down in Bridgetown, Barbados. Booster Club Mission number 78.
Captain Emmanuel. We on Booster Club Mission number 79 in Entebbe, Uganda.
Captain Aaron, Booster Club Mission number 80. Trinidad and Tobago.
Israel, guess where we at? I'm in Canada with an officer.
I'm in Toronto. Hey, this is Captain Urel. We on Mission 81.
This is Captain Linwood. I'm on Booster Club Mission number 81 in Toronto, Canada.
Captain Tazawan here. Just landed for Booster Club Mission number 82 in Georgetown, Guyana.
Captain Abiel here. Booster Club Mission 83. Tijuana, Mexico.
It's Captain Ben Zion, Booster Club Mission 84, the long way Maui.
Made it out here to the long way Malawi. This is mission number 84.
This is Captain Yadan with Booster Club Mission number 85 in Kingston, Jamaica. Paulo here. Booster Club Mission number 86. Just touched down in the Midland, UK.
It's Captain Gideon here. We're on Mission 7 in Paris, France.
Hey, Shalom. It's Captain OC.
Captain Matthew.
We're in Freetown, Sierra Leone on Booster Club Mission number 88.
Captain Zakar, I'm on Booster Club Mission number 89 down here in Nassau, Bahamas.
Captain Zephaniah, Booster Club Mission number 90, over here in Quito, Ecuador.
Captain Maria here. Captain The Red. We're here in Lagos, Nigeria for Booster Club Mission 91.
Captain Jan, and to my left, Captain Joel. We're on Booster Club Mission number 92 here in Monrovia, Liberia.
Captain John here on Mission 93 in South Africa.
Captain Shemaiah here. And I'm on Booster Club Mission number 93 in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Captain Hananiah here on Booster Club Mission 94, touching down here in Yaoundé, Cameroon.
Captain Shem just touching down. I'm on Booster Club Mission 95, just touching down in London, England.
Captain Soraya here at Booster Club Mission 95, here in Heathrow, London.
Captain Gad, I'm on Booster Club Mission number 96, Kenya, Africa.
Captain Enoch here on mission number 96 for the Booster Club here in Nairobi, Kenya.
Isaac here with Captain Jerome. We are on Booster Club Mission 97 in India.
Deacon Abiel here on Mission 98 in Belize City, Belize.
Deacon Joshua here on Booster Club Mission number 99 in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Captain Gedaliah, we are on Booster Club Mission number 100 in St. George's, Grenada.
Captain Josiah just touched down on Booster Club Mission number 100 in St. George, Grenada.
Bishop Yalasop with Captain Amaziah and Captain Jediah. We're on Booster Club Mission 101. We're in Kumasi, Ghana.
Hello, I'm Bishop Daniel here with Captain Ashanel of St. Jerningham. We're here on the Booster Club Mission 103 in Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Hallelujah. All praises.
All praise to the Most High.
Yes,
Give the Lord a hand for that thing.
Thank you, Booster Club. All praise to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
as you can see, it was a very important mission, and the Spirit was definitely working with our Bishop Nathaniel to set all of that up, and all of us follow suit, and all praise to the Most High. We was able to pull that mission off with great success. Our job on the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers, is to make this written history, meaning the history that's recorded in the Holy Bible. We are to make it real and to illustrate the history to our people that is outlined in the Bible. Our mission on this radio video show is to bring out the Bible and to make it real so that our brothers and sisters can take what they read in the Bible and see themselves in the Bible. That's what our mission is on this show, Bible Book of Our Fathers. And that's what we seek to do, because we want our people to understand that it's not just words written on paper, but it is for you to feel it. Let this history be felt so that it can resonate in your spirit as to what this truth really is. So that's what I want to bring out. Okay. So I'm going to move on. Love thy enemy, you might say. Some people might, because you hear people read that out of the Bible, right. And they say about we should love our enemies. But the enemies, again, like I pointed out earlier, was the enemies among our own people. Like Saul became David's enemy, but although he was an Israelite. So that's the enemies that we're supposed to love. And that love is supposed to win them back in favor of the brotherhood. Right. You cannot do this with people who are natural enemies. So it's important for us to understand that. The nations do not love us, and they will never love us. There will never be a unification of all of the nations coming together and loving you black folks. All of the nations are enjoying global robbery of the resources and our talents and anything that we do. All of the nations are benefiting from that, and they want to keep it that way. Do not misunderstand that statement, okay? So biblically speaking, it's important for us to know thine enemy rather than to trust him. Okay, let's read that out of the Bible. Give me that in Sirach. Give me that in Sirach. Let me just read that real quick. Sirach, what is it, 12 and 10? Yes, sir. Let's read that.
Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
So the real enemies is talking about the real enemies of our people. Go ahead.
Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So will his wickedness show. So the snake will bite you and will inject venom into your dying body. That's what the Most High is saying about us trusting our real enemies. We need to really understand that the enemies that the Most High is talking about for us to not trust is the other nations. Okay, it needs to be crystal clear and understand that, and we're going to show you why. Give me that in the Bible. Luke chapter 1. Luke chapter 1, verse 71. Let's read that.
Luke chapter 1,
I'm trying to move on in the lesson. Luke chapter 1, verse 71. Let's get some understanding.
Luke chapter 1, verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
With this kind of enemies here, there ain't no love in that. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand or the control of all that hate us. There ain't never going to be a unification between a slave and an enemy. If they're viewing us as slaves, if they're viewing us as people of insignificance, we are the source of their wealth and all of that kind of stuff. We are the subject of robbery and exploitation. The playing field will never change where you're going to be on an equal footing with them. They even tell you that in their Constitution. So it's important for us to understand that the enemies that the Most High is against is the same enemies that you are to never trust. Mm-hmm. Read that again.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
Go ahead.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
And from the hand of all that hate us. That's one scripture on the enemies. Give me Deuteronomy 28:48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
There you go again. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. There's never going to come a point where the thou and the enemy is going to be on the same footing. Read that again.
Therefore shalt thou serve.
Shall thou, meaning us, the Israelites, shall serve thine enemies. Go ahead.
Thine enemies.
Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed
Now,
thee.
we just saw some pictures showing you the yokes of iron in the paintings. So this is definitely talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, and it's talking about us. Crystal clear. Mm-hmm. There's no other way around that.
Can't no other nation make that claim.
Exactly. No other nation can make this claim. Mm-hmm. Come on.
And Bishop, in
yes,
the pictures, they're showing you what the enemy look like.
Yes, sir. Show that up there again. Show that. So, you brothers, y'all on point. Let the people see to read that thing again.
Mm-hmm. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Which the Lord shall send against thee. Hey, the brothers on point in that control room. You got the enemy standing there with the chain on our necks. Right. Where in the hell do you think that these two are going to be on the same footing?
Right.
Where in the hell do you think that the so-called slave can trust the slave master? That will never come. No. This is not the enemy that the Lord is talking about loving. Okay? Read.
In hunger.
In hunger, meaning that when we need food, we got to go to our enemies. Man, this is getting ready to get real now.
Bring it out.
If y'all made it up to this far, y'all really getting ready to get hung on the hook when I bring out these next clips. Notice that it said, read that again.
In hunger.
In hunger. Mark that down. Go ahead. In hunger.
And in thirst.
And in thirst.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
Anything that we need, we have to depend on our enemies for it. That's all the way up to this very moment. Go ahead.
And he.
And the same enemy.
Shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Go ahead. And that's exactly what we have in this illustration here. A yoke of iron on our necks.
Until he have destroyed
until the very sanity is destroyed. We've lost our whole mind in this captivity. Go ahead. So that's it on that, right?
Hey, Bishop, and the proof of that is that you'll be over there and you'll talk on the radio shows and they'll say that their Jesus is white. After this history is in their cities and their state or whatever you call it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
And they're literally sitting on gold mines. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna put this out here too. Somewhere probably in the description, we might have to put the link to the radio shows that we did over there because there's one of them that's on. There's a television program on Facebook when the captains and the brothers, we went on that show and we tore it up by the Spirit of the Most High.
Oh, praise!
And it's out there. And me, I'm particular about things. I don't leave things on Facebook. I don't leave things on YouTube. Whatever. If I know it's important, I'm going to download it because I think that they will hit the button and delete it.
Right.
And like Bishop say, if you don't have it on video, it didn't exist.
It didn't happen.
Okay.
Right.
So go ahead.
I seen the one with the clip where you called White Jesus the Beast. He was like, "Come on."
Oh yeah. That was a radio station.
Yeah, he was like, "Come on, Bishop."
Yeah, that one was funny because he was shocked.
Yeah.
He said, "Beast, that handsome man." He called him handsome.
Oh, man.
Well, we went, man. I tell you, that was something
like
else, man. That
woman.
daggone thing was something else, man.
Was he handsome when he was doing all of this to you?
No,
Right.
no.
Bet you none of your people was thinking that.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. You know. But,
Bring it out, Bishop.
Yeah, man. So give me the 68 verse, Deuteronomy 28:68.
Verse 68.
Now, when we go to these clips, we're going to re-illustrate these scriptures. It's going to line up again, like I said, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and the Black Death. That's what we're getting ready to go into now. Now we're getting ready to get into it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Egypt is bondage, slavery. Go ahead.
With ships.
With ships. Show it on it. Show it on the wall. That's what they were talking about. That's a ship that they got us in. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
The way that Moses had it recorded. Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
We have not seen our homeland again. There's an actual door that we left it called the door of no return.
Right.
So that was the end of that. That was, again, Bible prophecy. Right. The door of no return, meaning you ain't coming back here.
Right.
Whatever semblance of sanity you had, when you leave here, you ain't coming back with that sense.
No more again.
If you even thinking that you coming back here, get that out of your mind right now.
Yeah. Scripture said it.
Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And there we shall be sold. When we got off them ships, whether it was in Barbados, whether it was in Haiti, whether it was in Jamaica, America, Jamestown, the brother that I'm about to show, he mentions the different ports in America where we landed. He left Florida, South Carolina. He mentioned Virginia. He mentioned New York. Yes, the Wall Street, the whole area in Wall Street.
Yeah.
That was a slave trading post down there. Yes, Charleston, South Carolina is famous for it.
You can still go to that.
I got to do that. I got to go. I got to hit that up. I didn't hit that.
Savannah.
Now I got to get that. And Savannah, he mentioned that too.
Yeah.
All that's in there. So this brother that was bringing this information out, I was listening to him. I said, I'm going to get whatever he got, and we're going to bring it back to the States, and we're going to research it and make sure that it's all together. And it's on point, too. All what he brought out.
Right up with the Bible.
And it was biblical, and he didn't know that.
He didn't know it.
Because he ain't following the Bible, but he was bringing out the history that's going exactly along with what we read.
Good God.
And I'm telling you, you going to see. You going to see. We almost there. Where we at?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Enemies. So I wanted to bring out these scriptures that use the word enemies. Like it said in Luke, that we shall be redeemed from the hand of our enemies. Be redeemed from thy enemies and from the hand of all the haters. Enemies was there. Deuteronomy 28:48 also said that we shall serve our enemies. And then here in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says that we shall be sold unto our enemies. So these are the enemies that we are to never trust.
Right.
Because these people mean our death. They're meant for our end to be without honor, no dignity, no nothing. And that's the way it is, period. So we need to understand that. But now we get ready to go further into the deepness of these scriptures. Read the rest of that scripture, because I ain't leaving out nothing.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
slave men and slave women,
and no man shall buy you,
and no one shall save us. No one shall save us. That's what that buy means, to redeem. No one shall redeem us from this hell that we're about to go into. Okay? So now, here we go. Let's get the clips up. Let's get the videos up. Okay? Clip number 1. What I'm about to show y'all now is the male slave dungeon. Okay? Start at, I gave you the starting point, right? 8 seconds. Start at 8 seconds. Start at 8 seconds. Start at 8 seconds. Pause it right there. Now I want y'all to, because he's going to mention his name. I do want his name to be recorded, so you know, the brother that's speaking. All right, let's go.
Amen. Very well. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, we'll say Akwaba. Akwaba. So you can respond by saying Medase.
Now pause it. Let me explain. So again, this is the tour guide that was going to give us a tour of the dungeons and the Cape Coast castle. And we're there listening to him, and he's getting ready to take us through it and show us some things that perhaps many of us didn't know. Okay, so that's what he's addressing now. So we're actually there. We had paid to get in, and now he's getting ready to take us through the castle, the dungeon. I don't even know why I'm calling it a castle, the damn dungeon. Okay, play on. Keep the sound up. Let's hear it.
Akwaba means welcome. Okay. Yeah, so Akwaba. Adase. My name is Justice Kwabena Aqua, and today I'm going to lead you through this experience. And most of the time I prefer to call this an experience, not a tour. Absolutely. Because this is not something you make fun of or you laugh about. Because we are standing on sacred ground. Your crime was committed against humanity here, so it's more of reflection and you learning from the past and we correcting it so that our lives will be better as people of African descent, because most of the time we don't know and we keep on living the way we live as a result of we knowing. And I don't know whether it's by design for us not to know, or whether it's by design for us to always learn the propaganda and not the truth. So today is going to be about our story, not his story. Not our oppressor's story or our enslaver's view about whatever happened to us. We're going to tell our own story. So today, there's no sugarcoating, there's no whitewashing, there's no subtraction, there's no addition.
Pause it. You notice he said there's no sugarcoating?
Yes, sir. He did.
This is when he meant that. We ain't glossing over it. We're going to give you the real stuff. Now, I ain't going to be interrupted, but I just want y'all to make sure that y'all get these points.
I like the brother's bravado.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? From what I understand, I'm glad you said that, because I think we got one of the best ones. Because there's a whole group of that do this. Some of them might not be as energetic as this brother was. So the Lord was with us this day. Yes, he gave us this brother, and this brother was giving it to us wham. Raw. Yes, sir. He was, I'm telling you.
Raw,
so I just got to say it that way. All praise to the Most High.
And that's Israel right there.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. And again, I want to thank them, because, you know, as we were doing this, I was thinking about the marvelous effort of the brothers and sisters that support the Booster Club, because we would not have been able to do this. Right. So again, I want to thank my brothers and sisters for supporting the Booster Club. So we are in debt to bringing you the proper information back to show you that your dollars are not being used frivolously.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Wow, I'm getting tongue twisted on a whole lot of words. I used to be able to talk a lot clearer than this.
Bishop, you finally settling into the Carolinas. Yeah, you know, our tongue twister.
Is that what it is? No, don't do that. Damn. No. That's what I'm talking about. No.
Oh, New Yorkian, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Carolinas.
I ain't no New Yorker either. I mean, I'm born there, but you know how that is.
Yes, sir. All praise
I'm in Israel.
That's right, Bishop.
Yeah. We all had them moments, Bishop. It's all good.
Let's get on with it.
Bring it out.
In fact, what happened to us. All right, so briefly, I'll give you something about this structure. The British built it 1665, and called it Cape Coast Castle. But to me, in actual sense, this is more of a fort or a dungeon. But the British called it Cape Coast Castle. This structure is over 358 years plus. And historically, this is the third one the Europeans constructed along the coast of Ghana. 12 kilometers west from here, we have another one called Elamina Castle, or St. George's Castle. That one was Portugal, 1482. That one is almost 200 years older than Cape Coast Castle, or Cape Coast Dungeon. We have the other one in Accra, called Christiansborg Castle, and that one was Denmark, 1661. So we have 3 well-preserved castles and over 20 forts. You know, it is actually estimated that West Africa had about 50 of them, and out of that 50, Ghana had over 40 of them.
Did you hear that?
So Ghana had about over 80% of all the castles and forts.
Stop. Did you hear what he said?
Yes, sir.
Out of 50, that's why I was saying that earlier. Out of 50 castles that were built, Ghana had 40 of them. So 80% of all of the castles or the dungeons, like he pointed out eloquently, the dungeons was in Ghana. Why? Because that's the Gold Coast. They're going to bring all that up. You going to say something you like?
Yes, I was thinking about that earlier because they're called castles, and when people hear that, they may register that as residential,
right,
or a place of living for like a nobleman. But he said it. No, it is a militarized fort of human trafficking, not or a
that's
dungeon.
Exactly what
not
it is.
Not a home for nothing.
Right. Yeah, y'all ain't see it. Come on, let's roll.
Africa had, and so you would wonder why Ghana had that much. You know, Ghana had that much as a result of gold. Gold attracted the white man here around the 14th century and nothing else, because he heard that there was so much gold south of the Sahara. Let me speak briefly about the Mali Empire. When I talk about the Mali Empire, I'm talking about present-day Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Senegal.
Pause it. You notice he's mentioned Mauritania. He mentioned in the areas. That's what we bring. Senegal. Our brothers are up there. We found our brothers in Mauritania. They were part of the slave trade here, or the slave trafficking. That's what he's bringing out. So I'm letting the brother roll. He's bringing it out. He's bringing it out. Roll on.
Nigeria. So look at the size of Mali alone and Mauritania. It tells you that the empire was really, really, really vast, and it had Timbuktu to be more like the capital. And around the 14th century, they had an emperor by the name Mansa Musa. You know, Mansa Musa had already established Timbuktu as a center of learning, where he established a university and libraries within Timbuktu. So this is to say that before the Europeans arrived here in sub-Saharan Africa around the 15th century, West Africa or sub-Saharan Africa already had a university. So before the white man came, already this sub-region was training engineers, scientists, mathematicians, astronomers, and all that. Because all the time they tried to relegate us to the fact that we played no role to modern-day civilization. But we did a lot to help with modern-day civilization.
Now pause it. He mentions that basically you're saying that the narrative is to paint us as if we were savages and bums and all that. But he made the point in saying that these were some very upscale brothers and sisters.
Right.
Rudolph R. Windsor points that out in his book.
Yep.
So I'm gonna show that too down the line. I don't even know if I was gonna bring that out now.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's show that real quick.
We picked that point up though.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Bishop. From Babylon to Timbuktu.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So this is what he was talking about. Okay, this is the book from Babylon. Many of y'all seen us talk about it before, but we're gonna get back to the video. Just want to bring these parts out since we in it. From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. What it said that at the bottom. A secret. Can we zoom in on the back so I can read that purple part? Yeah. Okay, a history of ancient black races, including the black Hebrews, the Israelites. That's what it's talking about. Okay. All right, so come out of this. Let's go inside the book real quick. Okay, this is, I'm just going to run through this history real quick. Just read the highlighted part. Just to let you know that these were Jews that they had in these castles. Read that.
In the year 65.
Now, this is actually going back to the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 A.D. But as you can see, the same kind of military governors that built those castles were the same kinds of military that put us in those dungeons and in these so-called castles. And I'm glad the brother was making the point about castles being more dungeons, because people will hear the word, just like you was bringing out, Officer Eliakim. People would hear the word castle, and it would give somewhat of a romanticized
fairy tale
depiction of some kind of Rapunzel kind of thing. You know, where art thou, Rapunzel? You remember that? I ain't gonna get into that thing, but they make it think of that kind of situation when actually it was a slave fort, and so there you go right there. So let's read this. Let's just read it just for the brothers and sisters to know what we're talking about.
In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
You can actually read about this history in the Bible, primarily the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20 to 24. That's the time period that the biblical history accounts for what we're reading historically. Okay, read on.
With great slaughter.
With great slaughter. This is what they did, what Caesar Titus did. Okay, his General Vespasian's son put an end to our rule. This is black folks. Go ahead, read. With great slaughter. Go ahead.
During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
Meaning the ones that stayed in Jerusalem that did not flee when Christ said flee, because this be the time of vengeance. Okay, read.
During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
You see that? 1 million. This estimated that 1 million Jews, black Jews, fled into Africa. Go ahead.
Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery.
Fleeing from the white man, which is our real enemy. Go ahead.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
The author had to make the point in denoting that the Jewish slaves were black.
That's right.
As a redundant term, because today people think Jesus is white, which is damn ridiculous. They think that the Jews are white, which is damn ridiculous, when Moses passed for an Egyptian, and the Egyptians are black people. But people are so damn dumb today, they still think that the white people are Jews, think that the white people are Jesus. So my brother has to put it in a book that the Jews are black, and has to literally write it in a redundant fashion to make sure that you don't get the real Jews mixed up with these converts that's calling themselves Jews. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay.
And everything that you mentioned at the beginning of the radio show, Bishop, starting with the rating, we just read it right here.
Exactly.
The rating.
Right,
okay.
right.
And then
rounding us up.
Right. Yep. And then the transporting us and all that.
Yep.
So,
and they were doing that here too.
Same
they said
thing.
they said that the slave markets, which is what we read about.
Right.
That's those quote unquote castles.
Right.
And it literally was a market. Man, when I go back to this video, it's getting ready to get more crazy. I'm setting you all up. Setting y'all all up, okay? The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Okay, give me the next one, which deals with the point and why I even went to the book. Read that.
The black Jews.
Remember what the brother said. What was his name again? What was the brother's name again?
I can't pronounce.
I forgot it. No, I forget what his first name was. The brother that was just speaking, but he said his name.
The tour guy, right?
Yeah, the tour guy. But you know, you go back the tape up and remember if you need to. But he was speaking about how they did not just take savages; they took educated people, and this is what we're reading about here. Come on.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture.
Now, I want us to note that the Israelites are not African or Hamitic people.
Right.
We were in Africa, okay, but we are not Hamitic.
Right.
I just want to make that point. Even though when we go overseas, we're looking for the seed of Israel that's scattered throughout Africa. That's what we're there to teach. Okay, read that again. The black Jews.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
A higher social organization. That's what our Bible represents to us. That's the reason why we must hold on to it forever. Read.
Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the autochthonous population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people.
I wanted to note that the white man, the damn devil, the Edomites, all of them, all the different groups, they knew that we were a what?
An industrious
and skillful
people.
They knew that. That's the reason why they set their sights on us. They said if we can bend their minds and destroy their minds and get them to work in our favor, we will have the best society of all times because these people mean business. So they needed to destroy our process of common sense to work us to build their system up.
That's why it's so important for them to come and get us.
Exactly. All that information is about to come out. Go up. Read on.
In the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes.
Where's these forts? Where's these forts at? Ghana.
Right.
Ghana.
Right.
It's in the Jewish Ghanaian states because that's where we were.
Right.
Go ahead.
Were found kings.
Princes.
Princes.
These are the people that rounded up. I want you to understand what we're reading. Right. Go ahead. Governors. Generals. Secretaries. Treasurers. These are the people that they put in them damn dungeons.
Right.
Go ahead.
Revenue agents. Go ahead. Judges. Wow.
Architects.
Engineers. Doctors.
Historians.
Language interpreters.
You see this?
Wow.
Go ahead.
Mathematicians. Jewelers. Sculptors. Masons. Carpenters. Painters of art. Goldsmiths. Leatherworkers. Potters. Armorers. Saddlers. Blacksmiths. Agriculturalists, etc.
etc.
Right.
These are the people that they wanted.
Right.
And whenever we said that we're not going to give you our resource, meaning our talents, they suffocated us. They put us to death. That's the point. So they weren't just grabbing bums.
Right.
You don't build no forts and castles because you're rounding up bums. You're looking to get the greatest people ever.
Right.
That's what we're reading.
Right.
That's what we need to understand.
You got to lock them in tight so they can't even think.
Right. But we want to break them because we need them to put them we need to exploit their talents to build up our damn cities.
Yes. Right. And just the illustration you showed us at the beginning of the class, Bishop, we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for the painters of art.
Exactly.
I know that's not the original one,
right?
But there was painters of art exposing our history.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly. Ain't no white folks did that.
No,
we did
ain't
that.
No way. Right.
We did that.
Right.
Damn. So that's the kind of people that they put in those dungeons. We weren't no bums and savages and all that. Right. That's bullshit. We were the real deal, and they knew what they were taking.
Right.
And you can't find a city nowhere on the planet where you don't got black people in it. If black folks, if the Israelites are not there, the damn city is garbage. That damn state is garbage. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
It's desolate.
We'll be in a ghetto somewhere, but if we're there, you got a city.
Yes.
Because they will use us to build up they exploit the hell out of us, regardless of what it is.
Damn.
If it's got any value to it, you can believe me, we built it. That's the point. I just want you to understand that. Now let it roll. Okay?
Good stuff.
Come on.
Training engineers, scientists, mathematicians, astronomers, and all that.
He's bringing all that in there. You hear? Hold it. Yeah. He's repeating what we just read.
Yeah, he did.
Back it up just a little bit. Are y'all able to back it up on the slide? Okay, I'm going to just let it play.
This is to say that before the Europeans arrived here in sub-Saharan Africa around the 15th century, West Africa or sub-Saharan Africa already had a university. So before the white man
that was Timbuktu. That's what he was talking about.
Was training engineers, scientists, mathematicians, astronomers, and all that. Because all the time they tried to relegate us to the fact that we played no role to modern day civilization, but we did a lot to help with modern day civilization.
Wait a minute. Wait. We play no role in modern civilization? The white man is not no damn civilized. Give me Maccabees, man. Let's just throw him in there. Maccabees 1 and 9. Talking about he's the cradle of civilization. No, he destroyed civilization. Let's read that. Just set the record straight for brothers and sisters that might not be thinking on that level.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 9. And after his death.
Meaning Alexander the Greek. We don't call him the Greek. That's what it's talking about. Read verse 1 and drop down to 9 so we know who we're talking about.
Verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
This is the same Alexander, which is that great notable horn in the book of Daniel, even though when you read about the Greek Empire, you actually read about it in the Maccabees. They don't want to tell you about it too much because when they separated it out of the Bible, out of the regular 66 books, the history about the Greeks is in the Apocrypha. But the book of Daniel records it. That's what we talk about here. Read that.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead.
So he killed Darius, the king of the Persians. That's Alexander. Okay? Go ahead.
The first over Greece.
The first king over Greece, 331 BC, 333, 331 BC. That's the time period when this demon started ruling. Now jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons.
Meaning his 4 generals, Lysimachus, Ptolemy, Cassander, and Seleucus. Go ahead.
So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth.
And evils were multiplied when these devils started ruling. So they ain't started no damn civilization. If anything, they ended it.
Right.
So the civilization came from us. That's the point. Okay? That's the Bible. Okay? Now, is that it on that?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's go back to the video.
And
the
tour guide that you were speaking about, his name is Justice.
Yes.
Quabana
Right.
Aqua.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Captain Amaziah sent me that.
Yes,
right
sir. All
Thank you,
praise to
Cap.
the Most High. Yes, sir. Shout out to Captain Amaziah. Boy,
Yes,
he was my partner in crime.
Oh, praise! I know y'all had a time, man.
In crime and destroying white supremacy.
That's right.
we my partner in righteousness.
Oh, praise
but the white man said that y'all are criminals because y'all tearing up my damn white Jesus.
Yes,
you damn
sir.
right. Shout out to my brothers, Captain Captain Amaziah and Captain Yediah. All praise to the Most High. We did a great work for the Lord. Let the Lord continue to get the victory.
Yes, sir.
Let's go on.
I was a Muslim, and every faithful Muslim would have to travel to Mecca. It is recorded that when he traveled to Mecca from Timbuktu, wherever he passed, he devalued the price of gold. So let's say around the 14th century, an ounce of gold was selling in Egypt for like $1,000. Now he dropped so much that now an ounce was selling for like just $5 or $10. So this news about him and his wealth in that precious metal spread all over the world. So the Europeans were fully convinced that south of the Sahara was where you could get that gold. So they came, 1471, and unfortunately they had what they searched for. I'm saying unfortunately because that started our problem as Africans. Because the first thing we should know is the European did not come to Africa because he loved Africans or he loved Africa. They came to exploit and to basically, let's say it, to basically steal what they didn't have. So 1471 they arrived and constructed those forts, the large ones and the small ones along our coast. And
so wait a minute, you notice he said 1471 is when they started setting those forts up. So that's when they, not long after that, they went after Northern Kingdom. It's important to get these dates together because the 1400s was when so-called Christopher Columbus, which came out of the same batch of bastards, went over there to destroy our brothers that was in Santo Domingo, or what is known as Hispaniola, went throughout Puerto Rico, went throughout the Central and South American islands, and destroying our brothers and sisters there. They all came out of this clump of demons.
They were very strategic.
They
moved
exactly.
Years prior to then.
Exactly. They were very, you said the right word, officer, very, very strategic on how they were dealing. Okay. Go ahead.
The Gold Coast. As a result of the abundance of gold they had here. And when we had independence, the name Gold Coast was changed to Ghana. So Ghana also means the land of gold. You know, the Mali Empire I mentioned, you know, that region had several names. We had the Mali Empire, the Songhai, and the Ghana Empire. So the word Ghana was derived from that region, the same region that, you know, Mansa Musa had so much gold. But today, brothers and sisters. Today my emphasis will be on the Atlantic slave trafficking. One thing you should note, this wasn't constructed as a result of the gold trade, but this was built as a result of the human trafficking. And I also don't want to call it a trade, because this was no trade.
Right.
You know, you don't put people in chains and in shackles, force them to sleep in their feces or on their feces, force them in chains and in shackles on the ships, exploit labor out of them, and you call it a trade. No, it was purely human trafficking. So when we talk about that human trafficking, Cape Coast Dungeon played a vital role in it. This was the headquarters for British slave trafficking activities on the continent of Africa. And from here, the British had a well-defined destination where they trafficked people to. The first destination was the British West Indies and the British Caribbeans, British Virgin Islands. Today we call it Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, etc. And again, we can talk about North America, today's United States of America.
Bring it out.
So when we talk about the U.S., there were 5 main entry points into it, right from here. The first major destination within the U.S. was Jamestown, Virginia. So this is on the side of the British. So that's Jamestown, Virginia. Others ended up in Charleston, South Carolina, North Carolina, Savannah, Atlanta, Georgia, Maryland, and New York. So these were some of the main entry points into the U.S. right from here.
Right from there.
Right from there. Wow.
Keep it playing. Keep it playing.
So today we're going to bear witness to those crimes that was committed against humanity. And behind me we have the male dungeons. And right above the male dungeons was the Church of England.
Pause it.
Was the church.
Pause it. He said right above the dungeon was a damn church.
Oh, wow.
That's what and let me point this out. See what it says male slave dungeon? Obviously, that's not the original sign, but they put that there so we'll know where the actual dungeon was, because that is the male slave dungeon. Now, back it up just a little bit, because I want y'all to hear when he mentioned that there's a church on top of the dungeon. And the reason why I say that is because so-called Christianity is the same crap that these so-called Negroes is tied up in these damn churches. Look how they are. They got the damn church on top of a slave dungeon, praising Satan for having us destroyed.
All right.
And basically, here's the point that I want to make, because I said this on the radio show over there. They got the church on top of the dungeons, the slave dungeons over there in Ghana. It's basically the same equivalent to what Christianity is over all those brothers over there in Africa, with the church, the white Christian church on top of the dungeon lifestyle of the people that's living over there in Africa. I mean, I'm talking about the conditions that our brothers and sisters live over there, while they're literally on top of gold, bauxite, diamonds. We met a brother who lives in a village, live in an area where there's a gold mine in his damn village that the white man owns.
Wow.
And he's struggling from day to day. And he's literally walking on top of gold. So here you basically got Christianity that's on top of the dungeon of how the people are living over there in Ghana. And this is basically the same parallel that's going on here. Go ahead, play. I want y'all to hear this thing here.
Savannah, Atlanta, Georgia, Maryland, and New York. So these were some of the main entry points into the U.S. right from here, from this dungeon. So today we're going to bear witness to those crimes that was committed against humanity. And behind me we have the male dungeons. And right above the male dungeons was the Church of England. Was the Church of England. So it sounds very ironic that, God was worshipped up there. People died and mourned underneath the church. So this is also to say that the churches played a vital role in the enslavement of Africans. It was actually the church that invented the whole thing about this human trafficking around the 15th century. And let me start with the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church decreed and accepted that Africans had no souls to be saved. And therefore the African was the best candidate to be enslaved. They were even doing the African a favor, since he or she didn't have any soul to be saved. So rather persecute the African and leave the Indians alone. Replace Africans as labor. Leave the Indians alone. So basically, that's what the Catholic Church said. Again,
so pause it.
Wow, he said a lot, Bishop.
Yeah, he said a lot. But just think about how the same you got the same church system, the same crap that our mothers and fathers was tied up in talking about.
Right here in America.
Right here in America. Yeah. Right here in America. Inside these damn churches, all them black people in there, none of them are being taught anything righteous in terms of them being the children of God. It's always about worshiping white people.
Yes.
Worshiping white Jesus, white angels, lies, complete lies. That's what every single filthy church that's in the damn country is about. The same shit that we see on this program is the same damn thing.
Right.
The same damn relationship. Just the damn church over slaves, praying over slaves to stay docile.
Right.
To stay trodden down. To stay stupid.
Right.
They're worshiping white Jesus and all. The same damn thing. No damn different. Here, I was so happy that the brother said that. Yes. You can't get no better, clearer understanding on the relationship between the Christian church and the black dumbasses people that's in these damn churches than a damn church on top of a slave dungeon.
Hey, Bishop, what I see is they transition that doctrine of Christianity along with the slaves over here in America.
Exactly.
And it's the same
It's the same thing. Right. That's what we saw in Ghana.
It continues.
It continued 100%. That's exactly what. I mean, we were driving through. We passed like 40 damn churches with white Jesus all over them. And I said, look at the black people living in complete squalor.
Wow.
You can't bring the slaves over here without Christianity.
Man, I tell you, it's mind-boggling. I don't want to talk it before I bring it in, because I'm going to bring in the clips about what we saw and what we said on the radio and all that. We let them have it.
Man, oh man.
Hey Bishop, if you support modern day Christianity,
right,
you support everything that
he's
shown what done to us.
Right. That's exactly. Go ahead.
No, I was done. That was the point. You supporting all of that.
You supporting
and our people don't even realize.
They don't realize it.
Right.
And you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till we go down into them damn dungeons.
Oh boy.
We going in.
The damn church is on top on top of where they had yokes of iron on your neck.
Yes.
On top of the shackles. On top of the feces.
Right on top.
In Africa.
In Africa.
In Africa.
In Africa. In Africa.
You can't make this up, man.
Go ahead, man.
Real quick, did he say that the they stopped dealing with the Indians, or they stopped bringing the Indians over
to replace us? Yeah,
right. To replace us. My point is
to replace them with us.
Right, because they killed all of them.
That's it. That's the point.
They needed to re-up. We was the re-up.
Right.
That's the point. That's the point.
Wow.
They knew we were Judah. Go ahead.
Yeah. And Gad wasn't going for that.
Gad wasn't going for it because there's another documentary that Gad would just let. They said we ain't doing nothing. We would just stay here and starve. We won't procreate. We won't do anything. We would just
burn us, whatever you got to do.
They were like stoic. We ain't doing nothing. They said we can't get these guys to do a damn thing.
Right.
Well, let's go get the niggas. That's how they. That's how they thought.
Right. And in Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, it talks about that the Southern Kingdom would be brought over eventually.
Exactly. Exactly.
The Lord had all this planned.
He had all this planned. But guess what? We're gonna get our get back. Don't think we ain't gonna get our get back. We're gonna get our get back.
Yeah, it's a payday.
Okay. Go ahead. Hit me.
Same Catholic Church, the Dutch Reformed Church, and the Church of England also came out with another propaganda that their clergy have studied the Bible so well, and they are fully convinced that Africans are descendant of some cursed characters in the Bible. They mentioned the names. They called Cain African. They called Shem, Ham. You know, all those.
This is what they taught. What he's talking about now is what they teach. Hold it. What he's talking about is what they teach in white supremacy Christianity. They say that we are the children of Ham, and Ham, as a result of being mocked, we mocked Noah in his drunkenness, and from that day we were doomed to be a hewer of wood and a drawer of water, and we were cursed with the skin of blackness and all that bull crap.
Right.
That's what he's making. And what people don't understand, that's not the Bible. Right. That's white supremacy Christianity.
Right.
But this is what they teach. That's what that church represented.
Damn.
So they felt justified in doing what they were doing to us, and was teaching that everywhere. Go ahead.
And that the African was supposed to be the white man's slave as a result of the church's propaganda. So that was a way of the church justifying greed, ignorance, and selfishness. So that is why they built a church on the Ganges. Let me also give you another reasons why churches were built on sacred grounds like this. You see, when you look at Ghana, wherever the Europeans constructed their fort or castles were sacred ground for the people. You know, we are spiritual people, not religious people. And if you are spiritual, then the notion and the idea is there's God in you. All right, because God created you. There's God in you. So it is up to you to live a morally upright life. Right? Because the believers, when you die and you lived a morally upright life, you become an ancestor. And when you're an ancestor, you are the link between the living and God. Because we believe that the supreme being is nature and nature is God. And since we have that belief, then you should have respect for nature. Right? The plants, the animals. So this land was a sacred ground that our people came to communicate through to the supreme being. So it's another way of saying that the power you believed in, I'm now the power occupying it. You know, the British or the Europeans did this almost everywhere. They went to in India, in North America. They built, you know, churches on sacred grounds for the native people in North America, the Caribbean. So it was another psychological thing the Europeans did. Any questions or comments before we continue with the experience?
Comments is fascinating history. I'm absolutely in love with it. So definitely appreciate your knowledge on it. So we're here. Thank you.
Okay, so let me show you the advantage. So one thing you should also note, it is 4 steps down. The last one drops a bit, so let's watch out. Let's go to the left while speaking.
All right, pause it. We're getting ready to walk inside, but let me draw your attention to something real quick. Back it up just a little bit. I want to show you something that's on the side of the wall. Back it up just a little bit. We're going right back to this point here. Not when I'm talking. I want to, right, see, zoom in on that. Right, zoom in on that plaque there. I know you can't see it from here. I've got a clearer picture of it, but I'll show that in part 2, or you know, when I do this, when I open up a further episode of Bible Book of Our Fathers. Mm-hmm. That right there is a plaque of Barack Obama visiting that dungeon. Mm-hmm. So he's been there. That's they put a plaque up. So that's what that is over there. I'm gonna show a picture of it later on down the line. But okay, so let's go on with the video. I just wanted to point it out in case anybody was asking what is that over there. That was a plaque that was put up in honor of Barack Obama, the president visiting. That's what that is, and Michelle Obama. All right, let's go inside. Let's go inside the dungeon.
The Caribbean. So it was another psychological thing the Europeans did. Any questions or comments before we continue with the experience?
Comments is fascinating history. I'm absolutely in love with it. So definitely appreciate your knowledge on it. So we're here. Thank you.
Okay, so let me show you the advantage. So one thing you should also note, it is 4 steps down. The last one drops a bit, so let's watch out. Let's go to the left while speaking.
Now we had to walk down there. You see lights on the wall? Look at that place. Pause. I want y'all to see those drain channels.
See that.
I want y'all to back it up just a little bit. Just 'cause I want to see them drain channels. Okay, I wanted y'all to see that. That there's a reason for why you see that. Now we're gonna let the videos ride. Now, here's the moment that everybody's been waiting for. You all right?
I just want to say I'm just trying to picture, you know, all those people just crammed in there.
Yes.
You probably got people screaming.
All that.
Yeah, all that's going on. Can y'all imagine that? that trauma that's going on.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to stop you.
Yeah. This is the time to talk.
The walk down there.
The walk down there.
It's light, like Bishop said.
Yeah.
It's lights there now. Yeah.
That's just what I was about to say. The complete darkness.
Right. It was complete darkness.
A whole bunch of people crammed up in there, stepping on each other
for months at a time,
screaming.
He's gonna bring all that out.
That's horrifying.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We are forefathers. I was walking, most likely, down that very pathway before.
The smell.
I was reliving it, going down there.
So Bishop, this is the walkway to where they held him at, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a deeper dungeon where they actually held him at. Okay.
You're gonna see it.
So this is the walkway.
This is the walkway to get down into them dungeons. They marched us down there after we walked 50 damn miles. We walked down there. They pushed us down there and made us wait for the ships to be taking us to these different places. We waited down there. We got ready to all that information is about to come out now, and then some.
I was gonna ask you, when you walked down the steps, what was the feeling of the like what hit you at that moment?
I imagine walking down there with no shoes on. And I imagine being squeezed up with all my brothers squeezed up beside me, and they basically packed us in there just like they did on the ships. And we stayed there, waiting for the ships to come in to take us. And these ships took forever. So you just stay down there, and they throw some water on you, throw you a little bit of food. That's Deuteronomy 28. That's why I say I'm going to parallel it with the scriptures. Okay, here it come now. We ready now. Yes, come on, let it ride. Remember those channels, those little gutters. Remember that. And by the way, speaking of gutters, in Ghana, Kumasi, we talked about this on the radio show up there. Actually, a TV show. There was the TV show. The city, supposedly, the city is supposed to be the ones that deal with your gutter system, your roads, and all of that. Mm-hmm. Don't you know that the city used the labor of the people to literally dig the channels with a pickaxe? I was trying to get that on a video. With a pickaxe. They literally have to dig it out in the hot sun with no shirt on. Digging it up. Instead of using a tractor. Instead of using, they don't even want to spend money to put gas.
No hydraulic.
No hydraulic, nothing. They had the brothers. I mean, this was yesterday. This was happening when we were there. And they got gold up underneath their feet. Diamonds, bauxite. And they got to work like this. Yes. The so-called Chinese got all running all them damn companies over there. First of all, they ain't even supposed to be there, period.
Right.
But that's the deal. That's what's going on. And got our brother working in the sun because they ain't got to pay him nothing. And I mean, I'm talking, and the American dollar compared to what they call the CDs, that's the dollar over there, the dollar. It's like pennies, like damn 10 cents to an American dollar.
That's the trick, baby.
Bishop. Yeah.
So they can never get ahead.
They can never get ahead.
Damn.
Yep, bro. It's crazy. Hey, on the radio show, I went in on that shit. I'm skilled. I went in on it. I went in on it. I was not playing. By the Spirit of the Lord, I ain't talking about me. But the Spirit of the Lord made that thing come out when we brought it out. I'm going to bring it in on the next episode. I'm going to bring in the radio so that y'all know what we talked about. Okay, because this went out throughout Ghana. Let the people hear what the Most High got to say in terms of getting themselves together like the scriptures say. Okay, gather yourselves together, O nation, I desire. Let's play on in the videos. Let these videos roll. They're one behind the other. Come on. We in the dungeons now. Play the next one. Notice the floor. He turned the light out, pause it. He turned the light out so that you know what it was really like. Because those lights were not down there, obviously.
Right.
So he's letting us feel what it was really like being in there. Play on.
like 3 months. Say that again, sir? So they stayed in here for like 3 months before the ships. Yes, so 3 months was the maximum days. The minimum could be a week to a month. So let's say this. The whole thing would depend on how early or how late the ships arrive. And remember that then, around the 15th, 16th century, the ships had no engines. It depended on the current of the sailing. So if the weather was bad, you can imagine you spent so much time on the sea. So it took them 6 weeks or more to reach North America, the Caribbean, the West Indies. Another 6 weeks or more returning to Africa. So you would have to stay in for that long and wait. And
3 months is insane.
To wait.
No, pause. You break.
3 months
now,
is insane.
Now you're getting it now. In that damn place for 3 months.
Right.
So that meant, hey. Read Deuteronomy 28:48 again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Remember, 3 months now. Deuteronomy 28th chapter and the Black Death. That's what we're reading. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
If you're in there for 3 damn months, where you going to get your food from?
Right.
Huh? Where was your food going to come from? Literally. For 3 months, if you stayed alive for 3 months, somebody fed you. Go ahead.
And in thirst.
And if you was going to get water in 3 months, somebody had to give you water. And you know they were very sparingly with the water. And very sparingly with the food. So that's why many of us perished and died in there. With chains on. With shackles on. Go ahead.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. We were naked. You got to think about how these bastards thought. Why did they have us naked? Because if you got clothes on, that's taking up room for more slaves. Nobody thought about it like that. Clothing take up room. You got 100 people in there and they all got clothes on. You might get 80 in there instead of 100. Put them in there naked. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
If you needed anything, some of the women was pregnant. Some of them were on their periods. Some of the men were old. Some of the men had injuries from all that. Remember, they walked 50 damn miles. If you needed medical attention, whatever, you were there. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And they had yokes of iron on their necks while they were in there. Them chains cutting into your flesh. Them collars cutting into your flesh. So that's what we just read here happened in them damn dungeons. What we just read here happened in them dungeons.
Right. And you say dungeon. I said dungeon. Let me look up. This ain't no hotel room. Ain't no beds in there. Ain't no water fountain in the corner.
None of that.
Ain't no toilet in there.
Right.
This is a strong underground prison cell. It said strong underground prison cell. So there ain't no escaping that.
They built that solely for us.
Especially, it says especially in a castle.
Cap, think of the dynamic, right? This man come and take you from your homeland. He make you walk, what you say, it was 50 miles,
50
Bishop?
miles. They said 80 kilometers, which is like 50 miles.
50 miles, right? When you get there, he put you in the prison. There's no food. There's nothing to drink.
Exactly.
Right.
And plus, you don't know where you're going. So that's a whole nother psychological bag.
In
you
the
don't
dark.
even know. Go ahead. In the dark.
He put you in prison. You know that this is your enemy.
Right.
But still, because Deuteronomy 28, 48, the curse is on us, you still have to look to this same man for food.
Right.
Think of that psychologically. You still looking at him as a provider.
Wow.
And then meanwhile, you got the church on top. Him playing God.
That's what was going on in there.
And I'm looking at the ground right here. This is where you had to lay.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted you to focus on the ground thing because that ground thing is going to become very significant. That's the reason why I drew attention to that. Y'all about to get hit in the head with some real stuff right about now. Go ahead, play on.
First of all, let me tell you the number of people they fitted here. This is the biggest dungeon you will ever find in Africa in relation to the transatlantic slave trafficking.
Stop.
The British built.
If that's the biggest dungeon in all of Africa, the continent of Africa, that's the biggest one that they're in. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine the other ones were smaller and just as packed. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, play on.
This dungeon to accommodate about 1,000 of our male ancestors. So let's break it down. They had 5 chambers. This is the first chamber. This is a whole chamber. We're going to move out from here to another chamber. We'll move to another chamber, so we'll read the 5th one. So it happened that every chamber within this dungeon contained over 100 to 200 people. So 200 by 5, that's 1,000 when the place was filled up to capacity. 100 by 5, that's 500 when it was minimum, or when it wasn't filled up to capacity. So you could imagine 100 to 200 people stayed in here for like a week to 3 months. You go to toilet right here, you urinate, you sleep on your toilet and urine for that long. You know, they brought in sand, mud and all that. So these guys were supposed to carry out toilet, vomit.
Those are the channels, toilets. He's saying the gutters, those channels were supposed to drain the urine out of it. Mm-hmm. That's what that was for. So that was basically what the brothers was digging with a pickaxe on the streets. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Supposed to.
Yes, they're supposed to. So that channel is where your excrements, bowel movement, vomit, blood, everything was supposed to trickle through those channels, and you had to stay there in that for 3 months. Just let that sink in.
200 people, that urine, the feces, all that wasn't going nowhere.
That wasn't going no damn place.
Those things wasn't even that deep.
Right. That's the point.
Right.
It wasn't going
anywhere. It wasn't channeled correctly. Right.
Can I get a scripture?
Yeah.
Let me have Isaiah 5 and 13 real quick.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13.
Bishop, I thought the history here in America was bad.
No.
Right.
Man.
I told you. You still ain't heard nothing yet.
Man. Read it.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge.
So the Bible says our people went into captivity because we don't have any knowledge of God's laws. We walked away from God's laws, and the Lord punished us and put us in captivity. Read it again.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
Go ahead.
Because they have no knowledge.
Read.
And their honorable men are famished.
And their honorable men are famished. Notice it called them honorable. You remember how we read about the teachers and the doctors,
governors,
the
treasurers.
kings? Yes, sir.
Yep, all of them.
The honorable men are famished. Read.
And their multitude dried up with thirst.
Now we know that that's talking about with God's laws, right? Wisdom. But at the same time, the Lord made it physical because the scripture said we will want for all things, food and thirst. We will hunger and thirst, right? Watch this though. Read.
Therefore, hell.
What?
Hell.
What?
Hell.
When you look at this right here, that's what this is. A big ass grave.
That's exactly what
this is. Hell.
Yep.
Read it again.
Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure.
5 chambers, 1,000 people for, what did he say, 3 months time?
3 months.
90 days.
90 days.
That's
you can't even imagine that.
No,
you can't even imagine that. That's what I'm saying. It was unimaginable. Unimaginable. What happens when you get tired or want to lay down?
That's what I was thinking about, Bishop.
You standing up. How are you going to lay down with all them people in there? You can't even imagine it. It gets worse. It gets worse.
How?
You said how? You said how? Who said how?
I said that.
How?
Like how?
Play on.
Crazy.
We're going to find out how. Play on.
Question, how many times can toilet, vomit, urine move out? It did not move. So most of the things they left here got stuck up on. Yeah. So we had a carpet of compacted human feces, urine, vomit, covering the actual flooring. to this level. All over. So the place was filled up all over with excrement, mud, sand, sweat, tears, pain, agony.
And blood. And with ankle shackles on. So the cut and the feces.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Bishop.
Yeah.
Dang.
The cuts.
Yeah.
Infections.
Yeah, you get infections. That's exactly why I said it. I'm asking them. I said, remember, I'm thinking they got shackles on. And that metal cut into your skin, and you're walking in bowel movement and urine. So that meant they got sick.
So the only way I can think of it, the movie Shawshank Redemption. Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
And the way he broke out, he had to walk through the sewage.
Right.
He was gagging, throwing up. Can you imagine? He said the feces was this. The
About
feces
a
was that,
foot high.
About a foot high.
Mm-hmm.
How you got to sleep in that? The fumes, all of that.
They was not letting us go. They was not letting us go. That's the reason why 7 out of 10 died. 7 out of 10. He's gonna mention it. 7 out of 10. So that's telling you how many of us that they took.
But we the hate group.
Yeah, but we the hate group. But we're the hate group. 7 out of 10. Just let that number sit on you. 10. 2 to 3 survived out of every 10. And there was thousands of us. And this went on for 300 years.
Damn.
Play on.
Blood, infections and everything else.
The thing is, you could also be trained next to a dead body for a whole day.
Stop. See. How often will the man next to you die before they came in and checked on him? He might have been, because you're not getting no wellness check.
No.
You'll be in there for days before anybody come to check out their cargo. The man might have died chained up next to you, a dead body. Dead. He'll be dead for 2-3 days before they come in and actually find him dead.
The body is decomposing.
The body is decomposing. All that's happening in them damn dungeons. All that's happening in them dungeons. That's where my mind was when I was over there. I was thinking about all of this. Play on.
So you can imagine the diseases, the infections. 1974, we excavated this particular room and found the actual flooring and the drains. But the interesting thing is we didn't remove everything. We left you this portion right here. So this portion right here contains DNA of our ancestors. So this contains human excrement, vomit, urine, blood, etc. And also understand that this whole space is a crime scene. Because crime was committed against humanity. So at every crime scene, what you do, you try as much as possible to protect the evidence. And to protect the evidence, you need to secure it. So apart from excavating this whole room, the rest of the other rooms we've not excavated. We've not excavated it. So what we have there is still
the way it was.
The feces and the urine, they left on the floor.
Bishop, he said...
That's right. That's right. That's why I didn't say nothing. I knew y'all were going to get it. What did he just say? What did you catch?
They had to excavate the rooms. Not clean them.
Not clean them.
Right.
They had to excavate the room.
So that first dungeon, they cleared out the layers of blood and vomit and menstrual sweat, tears,
right,
everything, all that. They had to scrape all that. That's how you was able to see the bricks.
So all of that became the floor.
All of that became the floor. And the next 4 dungeons, you're not going to see what you see here. The next 4 dungeons got all of that stuff compacted, and you don't see the bricks.
Damn.
This right here, he said the evidence is the reason why when people over here say slavery never happened, I get livid.
Yeah, yeah. He said, bring their asses here. That's what he was saying. He said, bring them here and show them this.
because they skin cells, the very ones that's saying a lot of that.
Yep.
They skin cells and they blood and they vomit and they sweat and they hair and they
it's there.
Is right there in that clump on the floor that they left as evidence, the brother said.
Yep, that's why I said the Most High brought this brother to us. Because there was another tour. There was another one that was going. No, we wait. We didn't even know because it was already in progress. So we had to wait like 15 minutes before he showed up. And boom, that was it. Yep. Thank God.
All praises.
Play on.
Hello, those who just arrived, you are welcome. My name is Justin. Experience. Okay, so and also one thing you should know is out of every 4, 1 died before the ships came. So whatever number they kept in these dungeons, about 25.
Hold. You heard the numbers?
Yeah. What do you say? 1 out of 4?
He said 1 out of. Back it up just a little bit. I want you to pay attention to these numbers. Talking about some so-called 6 million Jews. Lord have mercy. They ain't go through no crap like this.
All right.
My name is Justin. I've tried experience. Okay, so and also one thing you should know is out of every 4, 1 died before the ships came.
Stop. So out of every 4, 1 died before the ships came. So that meant that 1/4 of every 100, 25 out of every 100 was dead by the time the ship came back to take us to wherever.
Right.
And those were the ones that you were chained to before they discovered he was dead. And this was actually happening on the ship itself
too. Right.
So you still got to get.
You still got to do that. You got to get through all of that. We made it through all of that. Play on.
Whatever number they kept in these dungeons, about 25% of them did not survive. 25% of them did not survive. On the ships, it was more than that. By the time they reached North America, the Caribbean, or the West Indies, out of every 4, 2 died. So it's 50%. 50% of them did not survive. So in total, out of every 10 bound to North America, the Caribbean, the West Indies, from Africa during the transatlantic slave trafficking, out of that 10, only 2 or 3 survived. The rest did not survive. So during the entire course of what some people call it the slave trade and what I call the slave trafficking, those who died outnumbered those who survived. And remember that this continued for over 300 years before it finally came to an end. They had water and food once or twice a day, but the food and water was nothing good to write home about. Something to sustain them for a while till the ships.
You heard that? The water was heard what he said? The water when food was very scarce. That's the scripture. Water and hunger and thirst and the want of all things. Nakedness. That's what we're talking about. Go ahead, play on.
Language was also a barrier because they were brought from different ethnic groups. Unfortunately, Ghana was one of the major transit points during the Atlantic slave trafficking. So they brought people from different ethnic groups within this sub-region. And through Cape Coast Castle, Elmina Castle, or any fort or castle along the coast of Ghana, you were trafficked away from here. So that labor could be exploited out of you. Right, any questions or comments before we proceed?
About how having so many of our people here, and they wanted to ensure that a good amount made it to market in the Americas. That was one of the reasons that I've learned that they overpacked it or overbooked, as one would say.
Yes.
And that contributed to the death rate, but they figured that the more we have, at least we'll get more than 2. We might get 3, exactly. Even if 7 of them die.
Exactly. Because out of
7 of us died.
Yes. So if out of 10, 7 of us died and 3 survived, the money was still good for them.
Yes.
The money was still good for them. Okay. So let's have a look at the other chambers also.
Look at the floor. Look at the floor.
Big difference.
That's what I want you to see. Look at the floor.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are still in the male dungeons. We are in the third chamber. We are in the middle chamber. I just want to draw your attention to what is on the floor. Just take a good look at the floor. And you realize that this floor looks different from the other room. In the other room, you can see the bricks. You can see that that is well laid out, right? And here you can't actually see them. You can't see them because today we are standing on top of everything they left in these dungeons. Wow. So what is on the floor now is compacted human toilet, vomit, urine, blood, tears, saliva, everything they left in these dungeons. And as I mentioned earlier on, this place is a crime scene. And we are doing everything possible to protect
it looks like I'm
the
seeing
evidence.
fingerprints.
Because from time to come, somebody will tell you that this did not happen. And when they tell you it did not happen, then you bring them here and show them the evidence of the torture and agony one person was to his fellow human being. So you can imagine how diabolic and barbaric some people were to others. Right above us was the Church of England, or the Anglican Church. So, so above us, right above this. Okay. This was not the church, but above was a church. And that was a peephole. Some of the guards would stand there and watch. I wouldn't take that to the don't worry, we'll see. So the entrance of that peephole, or that spy thing, is also closer to the entrance of the church. So whoever passed by to worship Yeshua, or Jesus, or God, could smell toilet, vomit, urine, but none of them really.
And then they go praise Jesus.
Care about humanity. But and I'm saying this because of the justifications, the malicious and fraudulent justification the churches came about. The Anglican Church, the Dutch Reformed Church, and the Catholic Church came out to justify and condone this evil. Yeah. Any questions or comments? All right, let's have a look at the last one.
Wow. Whew. That's a lot there, ain't it, brothers?
That's a lot to take in, bishops.
Yeah, that's why I said just got to let this stuff roll. Yeah. What y'all got to say? You got anything?
Can I get the scripture bit?
Yeah, come on with it.
Let me get Daniel 9 and
we got more. We got more.
Bring that thing out.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 11.
So don't let anybody tell you that the Bible is not talking about us. Nobody else matches the history that we're reading in the Bible. This is the Bible illustrated, straight up.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
See, the curse is poured upon us. Deuteronomy 28 was poured upon the Israelites.
There you go.
That's what we're seeing right here. Deuteronomy 28 in fruition. Read it.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God.
So we didn't know how detrimental it was to break God's law.
No.
We didn't know all this was gonna happen.
No, we didn't think this was coming.
We didn't think this was coming.
No.
Read on.
Because we have sinned against him.
Read. That show you how the Lord can be. If he against you, that show you, you ain't no way you can get away from it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dang.
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
This is a great evil.
Right. What evil is worse than this?
Right. What evil?
You ain't even heard nothing yet.
Right.
There's worse stuff than this.
Right.
Just a little bit I heard, Bishop. It's just
I told you. This little bit, but it's worse than this. Come on.
Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
That's how you know we Jerusalem.
That's how you know we're the
This
Jews.
ain't having nobody else. Come on, man.
There you go.
Stop with the damn lies.
Come on with it. That's it.
Go ahead, Bishop.
Damn.
On point.
Lord have mercy.
On point.
Hit it. Let it roll it. For 90 days. Let the next one play.
Bishop. They upstairs. House is upstairs. You gonna get the sound? I want to get the sound. Okay, all right, you're good. Somebody make them all this. Yeah, stay with Bishop.
And the church is right above it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Look. Hey, man. Wow. There was a clip that I was looking for. I want y'all to say something for a second. I want to look for something that illustrates us coming out when we came off those ships. Go to, I'm going to do this on the video. Go put up Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Put that video up there. And I'm going to skim through it real quick. I'm going to do it. Go ahead, Captain.
Can I get out something? Go ahead, Nahshon.
Yes, I'm going to look for it. I'm going to look for what I want. I just want to, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Being in those holes for 90 days, being down there, is the same thing that happened to us for those that survived on the slave ship. And when we finally came up for air on the outside, we came into a whole new place where we knew nothing about. Right. I'm going to find that scene in this movie so that you can see, get some idea of what it was like.
Right.
Go ahead, brothers.
Yes, sir. Hey, get Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 19. Because a lot of people over here in the States, they like to say, where was God during slavery? You know what I mean? They'll say all these things to us. Where was he at then? They'll use that for a reason not to believe in God. But the problem is they don't know God. They never knew God.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't know the things that God, we looking at it right now. When you go against God, these are the type of things that happen to us. Go ahead and read that.
Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 19. And it shall come to pass when ye shall say.
Go read it again. It said, it shall come, meaning it's going to happen. Take God's word for it. Best believe he going to, how they say it now, that he going to stand on business. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass when ye shall say, wherefore doeth the Lord our God all these things unto us?
Why does God do all these things to us? Why is these things happen? These atrocities happening to us? Go ahead.
Then shalt thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me.
There you go right there. God saying, because you have forsaken him, go ahead, you Israelites.
And served strange gods in your land.
And you served other gods, go ahead.
So shall ye serve strangers in a land that is not yours.
That's what's going on right now. Because we want to disobey God. We don't want to follow God over here to where he say we want to be like the heathen. Now all of these atrocities happening to you.
Right.
That's the type of God that we have.
No, back it up. Y'all was at one part of it. Right. I want that scene there. Stop. Just hold it right there. Hold it, brothers. Hold it. Go ahead. Finish up.
No, that was the end of it, Bishop.
Okay.
Well,
you mentioned about because there's one other thing that I want to ask about. Where was John 3:16
right.
in them dungeons?
Now they bring it out.
Yeah, exactly. With the church on top of the dungeon, where was John 3:16 then? Lord have mercy.
I know everybody know. Just in case some of you, for God so loved the world.
Yeah.
Where was he?
Where was the love then?
Right. Because they'll try to use that thing.
Right. Move it to when they was in the. Is that right before you see them in the bottom? Okay. Play from there. There's another scene that I'm looking for. We're just gonna show a short clip of this. This is how we were in the bottom of them ships. Show that.
Christ, what a stink, Captain. What did you bring, a cargo of rotten meat?
What do you mean? This is all prime beef. They stink because they eat like pigs, then they vomit all over themselves.
Long voyage?
95 days from the Ivory Coast.
Don't you ever take them up on deck for a little fresh air?
With all the frigates nosing around these waters like hungry dogs. Times have changed, Mr. Sims, now that our damn Yankee government considers this cargo contraband. if they catch me with even one nigger on board. It's up the rope I go, and I wouldn't be the first.
They're bound to rot away down there in that cesspool.
Not on your life.
Stop.
My ship,
Okay, stop. Right. All right, come out of this. Come out of this. Go, brother, say something, because I'm looking for another scene.
Well, I will say this. When we was looking back at the dungeon that they had us in, okay.
Put it back up here so I can see the slider.
You just saw, there it is, mice or, pests, you see what I'm saying, that carry diseases themselves.
Right. Back it up. The scene just passed.
You even imagine, like I said,
biting on you,
flies, biting on you,
all that was
all
going
type
on.
of mice biting on you. Like I said, dead carcasses in there and everything. It's traumatized. You imagine just being in that, like you said, 90 days.
Right.
You lose your mind.
Now we were talking about in the dungeons, but here's on the ship.
From the dungeon to the ship.
To the ship, same damn thing. Watch this, and remember, we just showed the scene where we were coming out of the dungeon, and when that light came on us, when we came out of it, I thought about the scene in the movie. I should have included that in this episode, but I'm gonna show it now since we got it. Play it.
Naked I bought him, and naked I sell. All hands ashore.
Okay, right.
You too, gentlemen. The voyage is over.
How can it be?
Okay, this might not be it. Back it up just a little bit. It was a part when they just first came out. Back it up. Right there. That was it. That's the clip I want. Just a little bit more. Right there. Play it. Now, before you play it, they were in the holds of them damn ships for 90 damn days. Now they're about to come out of the dungeon of the ship. Play it. Watch the look. Have no idea where they're at. Fear. All that's going through their mind. Where am I?
Chain still attached
Chain
to
still
them.
on. All right, that was it. That's it.
Right.
Take it off. That's it. I just wanted to just drill those parts in. That's the part.
Bishop, their face look blank.
Blank. That's the point.
What's the next?
That's what I'm saying.
What's next?
You got to put yourself in there. Put yourself in them damn dungeons and imagine that arduous journey.
Bishop, I can imagine that it may have, because you've been down. First, you was in the other dungeon. Then you was on this dungeon. I can imagine it may have been just a little bit of relief, and then guess what? That thing got snatched right away from when they realized where they was going.
Yep. Exactly.
Can I pull one, Bishop?
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind. Malachi chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, in regards to the man motioned the Akra, right? His last name, the guide that was actually explaining the height that all of the defecate and all of the other body fluids.
Right, exactly.
Every body fluid.
I ain't even dealt with the women's dungeon yet. That's coming too. I get that on. That's later. Go ahead.
And that it amassed itself such that even hundreds of years later, it could be compacted as a thick layer of encasing over the brick that you couldn't even see in the other rooms.
Right.
That you could see in the one room that Officer Zari had pointed out. Not they. How did you word it? They excavated it. It wasn't that they clean. You said they didn't clean it.
They didn't clean it. They just excavated it.
Officer Zari had but can you read that for me?
Well, that's what the guide said. He used the word excavated.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2, and verse 2. If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you.
What we've been reading, that if we did not keep the commandments, which we didn't, and like the officer had brought out, that we didn't believe that it could get so bad like it did, right, Reed?
And I will curse your blessings.
Right. The blessings in Deuteronomy 1 through 14, but no, we received at this point the curses of Deuteronomy 28:15 all the way down. Read.
Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart.
Now verse 3, this one I want, right?
Behold, I will corrupt your seed.
Read.
And spread dung upon your faces.
And spread what?
Dung upon your faces.
And the prophet said this. We said, what are you talking about? Right. Look at them dungeons and look at the dung that we were encased in.
And that dung was fresh.
Right.
Just laid.
Right. Can I get Deuteronomy 28:65 right quick?
Yeah,
Bishop, take us on off again. Take us on through. Deuteronomy 28, verse 65. This is what I just saw coming out of those dungeons, coming out of those holes. Right there from one dungeon, from the castle dungeon to the cargo slave ship dungeon. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
No ease whatsoever. No relaxation. Don't know what's going on. Read on.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
They can't even rest. No adequate rest. Sleep. Just hollering and screaming throughout all this going on. Okay, can't breathe, suffocating, scared to death. Well, it's going to speak for itself. Read on.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
This shows you again, Deuteronomy 28, the Black Death. This Bible is the truth. Right. This Bible, God said what he said, and he meant what he said. Right. Read on.
And failing of eyes.
Failing of eyes, and what else?
And sorrow of mind.
My God, that's what I saw on their faces. They're coming up out of there.
Yep.
From one transition to the next. Go ahead, Bishop.
That was heavy, Cap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that was the last video, right? That was that video there, right? The last video. That was on that last one. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting ready to move into something else because I'm going to get these parts in. I want to get these parts in. And then next week we're going to go even deeper. So I'm taking us on this horrendous, horrible journey. Okay. I want to, let's see, go to my brother, Kwame. I'm calling out of sequence for a reason. Go to my brother, Kwame. This was the brother. Now, that's part. Before you show it on the screen, this right here is, show it on the screen, just before we play it. This is, I'm taking us back to the last bath. This is the time period before we were walked or made or forced to walk 80 kilometers to those dungeons that we just saw, that we just went through. So the dungeons were after this here. So like I said, there was more horrors before we even go back. This was before we got to the dungeons to experience what we just saw. What I'm about to go into now, because this is where I said I had to record the audio because the camera didn't pick up what this brother said. But this is where this happened at. I was standing before this brother. His name was Kwame Divine. Kwame Divine. That's the brother that's standing in the picture, and I'm listening to him. So he's given a history about what happened at the bathhouse, at the last bath before we were forced to walk to the dungeons, 50 miles through all that brush. Okay, play it.
In 1482, they requested for a land to build their very first castle or fortress at the Edina Elmina. They built the very first castle called St. George's Castle. After completing it, they went into trade with our people extensively: gold, ivory, pepper, spices. But then, nearer to the year 1500s, that was when the Europeans got to the West Indies and then the Americas. Around Massachusetts and its environs, they formed the New England, and they were using the natives of that land on their plantations as slaves, free labor. But it came to a time the people were not doing well, and that was when one of their people called Bartolomeo de las Casas, a Spanish, Portuguese, Roman Catholic priest, came up with a suggestion that looking at the Africans across the oceans, they look strong, a lot more stronger than the natives of America. So let's go to Africa and get them. So when he sold the idea to them, many of them bought into the idea. So they started sailing across oceans. Among the sailors who came here, the traders, was Don Diego de Azambuja. They got to this particular land. Prince Harry and his people were here. They built the dungeons or the castle at Edina in Elmina. Many people, when you ask why they built the very first castle, they said it's for trade in gold, ivory, pepper, spices. And then my question is, if I need to build a structure to produce maybe this fabric or shirt, and I'm given this particular land, would I spend a portion of the land to build prisons? What are dungeons for? They are to imprison people, torture them, without people outside knowing. So why did you have that? If you
That's the reason why they had it underground, so that nobody would know that they were storing us in the dungeons, so that the other Europeans that was fighting over us wouldn't know that they had it. It's the same thing that happened when the slave ships got on the water. They were worried about what they call pirates and different people. They was like, "What you got? So they had. That's why he was saying that. That's the reason why in the video that we just saw, he said that there's so many people that be checking, and if I was caught with one NIG on board, there goes the rope, and that's what he was saying. That he would pay for that. I'm just wondering because I can't remember exactly how he said it, but
he was pretty much saying that they would hang him.
They would hang him, right. So go ahead.
No, sir. I was not out of concern for us.
No,
but
no.
Because one of the other Edomite nations wanted a monopoly
there
on
you
the
go.
business.
That's the point. That's what's happening. So that's what he's saying here. Go ahead.
And ivory and pepper. Then people look at me weirdly. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. You see, when they got here too, Prince Henry had arrived here with a lot of ships. When they decided to move our ancestors, okay.
I'm so recording.
So when they decided to move our ancestors out of this land, they never had to change their ships or all the things that they came here with.
Stop. When they came, they never changed the ships. In other words, they were cargo ships and they remained cargo ships, and they just put us on it. That's what he's saying. They never modified the ships for people. They kept the ship as cargo ships and put us on as cargo. That's the reason why we were laying on our backs, because that's what you would do. You would store cargo up there. Can we find a cross section of the ship, of the slave ship? Can we find a cross section of it? No, not this. An actual picture. Go to look it up. A cross section. Just find it online. Find it online real quick.
Just like the picture we got.
Yeah, just like the pictures we got up here. I need something like that. I need a cross section. Okay.
You want to picture how they were sitting in the
ship? Yes, how they were right. That's right. That's it. You got it. Move down at the bottom. Move down at the bottom. That bottom piece. That's good. See how that's when they did not have to modify the ship. That was used to carry cargo.
Right.
And they just said they didn't change how the ships were made. They just put us on there as if we were cargo. That's the point. That's what the brother's bringing out.
Right.
Okay. But go and move up, because that's interesting. Look at how they had us. Look at how they had us for 300 damn years, bro. This shit is crazy.
Right. And it also say the slaves were stowed on the shelves.
Right.
And below them have only a height of 2 foot 7 inches between the two beams,
meaning like boxes.
Right.
That's what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at. This is the Bible in pictures.
Right.
This is the Bible in pictures, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. That's what we're looking at.
Stop scrolling right there.
Yeah.
Stop it right there. Look, it says women, boys, men. What are girls at? I'm showing you the mentality of Esau. When he was doing this wickedness to our sisters, he didn't care what age they were.
Nope. Nope, not at all. Okay. That's a good, clear picture, too. All right, brothers, let's get back to the video. I got another video that I'm going to play after this. Hit me.
Already geared towards that. So I asked these two questions in a class. My professor got a little bit furious with me because I was asking too much questions. And then he tried to punish me. The punishment he gave me was actually to enlighten me more on the topic that I'm trying to find answers to. He gave me a topic that was to read on a topic which is the sub-Saharan Arab slave trade. Nearly 700 years before the arrival of the Europeans onto this continent, the Arabs were here. In the 7th century, all through to the 19th century, they were here before the arrival. It was when the Europeans started coming that they started fading off. But they were here, moved our ancestors in shackles across the Saharan desert into this new world, into the Arab nations to build their nations. So very much aware, the Europeans were aware of this, so then they needed to get a piece of what the Arabs were getting. So when they were coming, all their ships, all their plans, any structure they built on this particular continent were geared towards slavery. And that's why they built the very first trading post, which is the castle, with dungeons at the bottom of it. They have their ships there. None of the books ever stated they reconstructed the ships before moving our ancestors. Why not? Because they have everything planned. When they came here, first group of people who got here couldn't go into the system with their trade because the system we had here was too massive for them to penetrate through. That was indentured servitude. But they got away. when they got to know our ancestors. It was through manipulation and deceit that they got them to believe that, look, having these warriors who were victims to your battles, you captured them, brought him into your land, now you set them free.
Pause it for a second. Did we find the part where I gave the time to start at? This was fine, but find the part. There was a time point on here. Look at the original. Look at the original point.
You got it?
It was a timestamp. Well, you can let it.
Why,
go ahead.
Oh, while y'all looking for that, get Joel chapter 3 real quick. Joel chapter 3 and verse. So I don't hold up time. Go to verse 4.
Yes, sir.
Because he said 100 years before the. What did he say? 100 years before the European came, the Arabs was there, and they was the sub-Saharan slave trade. Let's read it. Let's read.
Joel chapter 3 verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
African nations, go ahead.
And all the coast of Palestine?
That's your Arabs right there. Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
So that's the African nation selling us to the Arabs. You know what I mean? The sub-Saharan slave trade. But there's another point that I want you. Who was talking about them fighting over us? The European nations fighting. That's why they had them dungeons, and that's why they had the armor and all of that. Well, I want you to see what they was fighting over. Go ahead, read verse 5 now.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
What have they taken?
My silver and my gold.
What are we to God?
Silver and my gold.
That's what they knew. They knew that we were God's silver and gold. That's what they was fighting over. That's why they put us down in those dungeons to protect us from them other criminals that was trying to come and get us. All right, that's all I want. Bishop, you found what you want?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got the spot? Yes, sir. Play it from there.
Why would you do that? For a couple of decades, near to the 1600s, that was when the Europeans started coming here in their numbers, in large numbers. The Dutch, the Danish, the Spanish, the British, the French sailed across oceans, and when they got here, they had to fight each other. For nearly 130 years, they've been fighting each other for a position because the Portuguese were the first here. They don't want anyone to get in contact with the people directly.
That's why they had the cannons up there and all of that to fight against the other Europeans that was fighting to take us as property. Right. Go ahead, play on.
Through me, but the rest don't want it, so they had to fight. After 1651, the British took over, and they introduced raiding, kidnapping, ambushing, burning homes and forcing families into chains and shackles. They were made to walk for so many miles. A historian here in Ghana called Akosia Adoma Pebi, professor of the University of Ghana, Legon, in her book entitled The History of Indigenous Slavery in Ghana from the 15th century to the 19th century, she made us aware that many slave markets were used here on this continent, right from Benin to through to Burkina Faso all the way to Gambia. Gold Coast Ghana had about 63 slave markets. We have Salaga, Sampa, Jenani, Ketekrachi, Bonomanso, Techiman, Picoro, Asimanso, the dungeon at Cape Coast, Elmina, Fort Amsterdam, Fort Williams, all the way to the Christiansburg dungeon in Osu, Accra, just to mention but a few being used as slave markets. These are very few. There was a British historian who was also traveling. During that same era, he kept a travel journal entitled The Short History of Gold Coast. In that book, he emphasized that all the slave markets that I've mentioned were functional. Two of them were playing historical roles, Asemanso and that of the Salaga slave market. When you look at the Ghana map, we are talking about the top to the bottom. Asemanso is here, Salaga is all the way up there. Not all of them were even captured from Gold Coast Ghana. So many of them were captured from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, all the way north. So they had to walk to cover the journey. They went through the Mole National Park. There, so many of the animals were attacking their ancestors.
Here come. This is the part I wanted to get. I was starting to worry. I'm like, where's the part at? Here, this is the part that I wanted everybody to hear. Listen, he was saying that many of when it made us walk, this is what I wanted to get to. Play.
We're getting lost. So the way to protect them was to
back it up. I was back it up. I want you to hear. I had to wake everybody up because I know we've been letting this thing play for a minute. Back it up just a little bit. I wanted to play from here. Okay.
Through the Mole National Park.
Just listen.
There, so many of the animals were attacking their ancestors.
So let me break it down. As they were making us walk, the animals were attacking They were attacking us. Remember, because it was all brush. While they were making us walk and we were being attacked, the white man said, "I'm losing my cargo." Listen to what this bastard did. Play it.
The captors thought their commodities were getting lost. So the way to protect them was to sacrifice the same commodities. So they went looking into the chains and shackles, pulling the weaker ones out.
Stop. Pulling the weaker ones out. Listen. Wow. Pulling the weaker ones out. Go ahead.
For a couple of meters, then they tied them to trees. Their backs were whipped. The blood that oozed out of them got the animals attracted, and while the animals were feeding on them.
So they pulled us out, whipped us, cut our flesh up, let the blood drain out, and tied us to trees, and that would draw the wild animals to them, to their bodies, and let their bodies be the bait to pull the animals to eat up the bodies so that he could take the more valuable slaves and make them continue to walk.
That is evil.
That's what I wanted y'all to hear. That's what he was bringing out to me. Just let that shit sink in. I wanted y'all to hear that. It's worth it. Back then, I want y'all to hear him say it.
Not. So they had to walk to cover the journey. They went through the Mole National Park. There, so many of the animals were attacking their ancestors. The captors thought their commodities were getting lost. So the way to protect them was to sacrifice the same commodities. So they went looking into the chains and shackles, pulling the weaker ones out. Walked them for a couple of meters, then they tied them to trees. Their backs were whipped. The blood that oozed out of them got the animals attracted, and while the animals were feeding on them, they got the rest out of the pack. They succeeded, but lives were lost. They met a river called the Pra River. To cross that river, lots of our ancestors got drowned there, and they were buried just at the bank of the river. The women couldn't bear the treatment. Aside them being raped, they were subjected to 2 treatments because they were crying out loud. The stone treatment and the metal mask treatment.
So you heard what he said. That's where the metal mask came from. Damn. Because when they would scream, they put a metal mask to make sure that they couldn't speak. That was the wooden bundles that they did in Hispaniolas when they were burning the brothers that was hung up. Remember, right. And they said the guy was burning them, and because his screams was getting in the way of the man that was trying to sleep. Right. He said, "Make them shut up," and he rammed wooden bungs in their mouth and still kept burning them. That's the same thing that the metal mask. That's letting you know that Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom suffered the same thing because the same vicious, cruel beast was over both kingdoms. Right. That's the point.
They had the same enemy come
against enemy come against all of us. So I just wanted to bring that in. So with time running, give me my last video. Give me my last for the night. My last video. This is Howard Nicholas. I wanted to bring him in. That's right. I want y'all to see who. Wait, before we show this here, show who he is. That's it. Who is he? Come on, like him. Need your expertise now.
Howard Nicholas, Erasmus University, Rotterdam, International Institute of Social Studies.
International Institute of Social Studies. I want that word to ring in there. They study the sociology internationally. Meaning this is worldwide conversation. This is about the worldwide dominance. That's what this man is going to talk about. All right, let's go right to the video. Go to the video that I showed you. This is now, so this guy is a, what, could we read more about this guy? Go back to the thing, Nicholas. He's a lecturer. Find out what he is. Read that down at the bottom.
Yes, sir.
Come on, give me a little bit of that.
Professor Dr. Howard Nicholas is a Sri Lankan economist and social scientist, senior lecturer in economics at the International Institute of Social Studies,
go ahead,
ISS, of the Erasmus University of Rotterdam. His areas of interest are non-neoclassical economics, capacity building for economics, related policy, and business decision making.
So that's good. That's good enough. He's similar to this guy named, what's his name, Perkins, that was on The End of Poverty, the guy that exposed about the jackals. Mm-hmm. He does what he does. I mean, well, he was explaining, he's going to explain basically the role of Perkins. I forget, John Perkins, I think is what his name was, about how the nations are kept poor. So now, let's go to the video now. I'm kind of rushing, but I'm not really rushing. I just want to get these points in before our time run out. Read that.
Underdevelopment in Africa? What's the real story?
Here we go. We're going to talk about it. Go ahead. Part 1.
Part 1. The role of economics and international institutions.
This guy is actually going to give a lecture concerning concerning Africa, concerning the economic levels of Africa. Hit me. Play it. Now, play it. Play this here. Play it. So he comes up to speak.
I must thank the Critical Collective again for inviting me. I thought they never would after the last
So what
batch.
I'm going to do at this point, because this is a long video, I watched the whole video, but I have a short clip of this because time is of the essence. I'll bring the rest of this on the next program. Give me the short version of this. It's the same video. Somebody made a short clip of it, which gets right to the point, which is what I want to do now. I want to get right to the point, and I want y'all to listen very carefully to what this devil says about Africa. Listen. Why is hold it. So Howard Nicholas is the same guy, the economist. He's speaking at this international stage. Why Africa is poor. Why is Ghana poor? So you can understand. Why is Senegal poor? Why is Sierra Leone poor? All the areas that we went to, Nigeria. Why are these areas poor? He's going to explain it. Listen to this. Listen to this stuff here. Go ahead. Start it from the beginning and let it ride. Start it from the beginning. We're just going to let it ride. Start from the beginning. There you go. Come on.
Sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep Sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap.
Damn. I remember that. What you got to say about that?
That.
What you got to say about that?
It's biblical. Right. It's biblical.
Wait a minute. Wait. It is. You got a scripture? No. Not yet.
I got one.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to, because I'm going to say something about what we just saw. Play it again. Play it again. Play it again. And we're going to stop it with the points that I want to bring out. Hit it. Y'all look for the scripture. But then we're going to close up. Go ahead. Start.
Been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries.
The advanced countries, meaning white folks, because they don't have any resources. Exactly. The bottomless pit. Go ahead.
Okay, and Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer.
Stop. He ain't just talking about Africa or the continent or the countries. He's talking about the Israelites. And what I mean by that, when he says that we have a role to play in making sure that everybody else is on top. That what happens to us in this country. Our talents have been exploited. Everything that we start, they take it. And no matter what we begin, whether it's music, dance, anything, art, whatever, they take it from us and keep us on the bottom. Right. So it's saying the same thing. So don't just think he's talking about the African countries per se. What they mean is that every nuance of their system is designed to keep us at the bottom and to make sure that they exploit every nuance of greatness from us. I mean, us here in this country. Right. Everywhere. And every facet of every institution that they have is designed to teach just that. That's what this man is saying. Play it.
We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa.
We will not allow black people to have anything of their own. I'm translating it. We will not allow black people to own shit. That's basically what he's saying. Right. Go ahead.
That. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa.
Stop. We do everything to keep black people from owning anything. He said we will do look at the words. Right. We do every damn thing. Right. Meaning every component in this society, whether it's education, whether it's economics, whether it's religion, whether it's the legal system, whether it's the judicial system, all of it is designed to keep you down and exploited. We don't want you dead. We just want to exploit the living shit out of you. Right. We just want to run you on the basketball court, play that music, sing, niggas.
Right.
That's how they deal with us. It's the same thing. Don't just look and think it's talking about Africa. That's how they think about all of us. That's what this man is saying. We will do everything to keep the Negroes in poverty. Right. Go ahead, play on.
Where it is also impoverished. It's absolutely vital.
They say it's absolutely vital for white survival to dominate over everything we do. Everything. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
Prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that.
And he said, let's get clear about that understanding. So all of them are learning that. So they don't see us as them. So ain't no need in trying to rub elbows. Right. You talking about something, love your enemy. You out of your damn mind. You don't understand what you're dealing with. You just saw the genesis of that in them damn dungeons. Their mindset has not changed at all. The church on top of the dungeon is the same damn thing as Christianity is upon the dungeon of your damn thinking. The same damn thing. No difference. And they will do everything to maintain that relationship. Everything. That's what this man is saying. He said, and let's be clear about that. We will unite all of what we do to keep you down. Your vote don't mean a damn thing. The long version of this video, he goes into all of that. He says, literally, it's all bullshit. He said that at the end of the day, it's about us being on top of everybody. So I'm going to lean back. What y'all got before we close out? About 5 minutes.
Hey,
what you got?
Get Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 6 real quick. I'll yield it. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 6.
Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation.
That's what we're looking at right now in the video. Bitter and hasty nation. Go ahead.
Which shall march through the breadth of the land.
Go through Africa. Take the minerals. Take the gold. Take the what you call it?
Bauxite.
Yeah,
that's
the bauxite.
They're using batteries and all that.
Take all of that. Go ahead.
To possess the dwelling places that are not theirs.
To do what?
To possess the dwelling places that are not theirs.
That's what we're dealing with. That's the beast that we're dealing with. He'll go through the breath. He'll go through lands that is not his, take all of the resources, and leave us with the crumbs. Leave us with nothing. Go ahead. What y'all got?
I want to go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 48 again. Deuteronomy 28 and 48 and 49. And I'm in with that one.
Yeah, because I had to. Right. That's the ones. Those are the ones to get with. You in the spirit. Because those are the ones that I didn't read, but I got them marked. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
That's just what he said. Keep us in poverty. And hunger and what?
And in thirst.
And in what?
And in nakedness.
Like you said earlier, what use is the clothes? Keep them naked, okay? But read on. How we been exploited. Read on.
And in want of all things.
There it is right. There's the exploitation. In want of all things, we're going to have to do what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So we're still not yoked up physically, but in our minds, we yoked up because we subject to this enemy because our disobedience to God. Right. Read 49. I know
and those yokes were on us.
Yes.
So that wasn't on no other nation.
No.
That yoke of iron that you read about in the Bible was on us.
Right. That wasn't on no Jewish people. Read on.
Until he have destroyed thee.
But read 49.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Even now, Bishop, when you just broke down what he said, there's a language they speak that we still don't understand.
Right. And even
the whole time,
even if they speak in English, we still
right.
don't
we
get
still
it.
don't understand.
Still don't get it.
Right. They slick with their words. We still don't understand it. But go ahead. That's all I got.
Let's jump up.
Read on.
Go ahead, bitch.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's what they did when they were transporting us across across those long areas.
Right.
That's what they were doing.
And whip the backs and tie them up to trees and let the beasts get them.
Right. There was another video. There was another video on that slide where I was standing before the doors when we walked through the woods. Go back to them videos. I'm going to close out with that. Not this one. Nope. Come on. It was a... Come on.
When you was with Kwame Bishop.
Yeah, it was past this.
The brother in the blue shirt, y'all.
Past this one. We almost done. Come on, brothers. Click out of this. It's not this one. Y'all didn't get all the clips that I gave you? Oh, Lord. I had to do it next week.
Yes, sir.
Forget about it. I thought y'all had, it was supposed to be 8 videos. Y'all only had 4 videos? Yes, sir. Okay, so that means y'all didn't take it off the drive. All right. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to end this particular segment. Deacon Abiel is coming up next. He's going to deal with the Blitz and going to bring y'all more of the exciting history and the beauty of the Passover and how we had to do the Lord's work overseas. Okay, this was monumental, and Deacon Abiel is going to bring it out. So I'm going to sign off and let him come on in and bring that in. Brothers and sisters, we also want to say we thank you for your support. Thank you for your blessings and your donations. Okay, as you see, we put your donations to proper use. Also, I want to thank my crew that did a magnificent job in the studio. I was blown away when I came back up in here. It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling you, they really laid it out. So all praise to the Most High that this was done. And I want to say, first of all, shalom to my brothers and sisters that are out there. I typically like to end our programs, each episode, on a high note. But trust me, the Lord is going to get the vengeance.
That's right.
So in our further episodes, we're going to be bringing out more information, but at the same time, we always got to bring the solution to our people's problems, which is that we must turn to the Lord. Okay, the Most High sent these enemies against us. These are the real enemies, and He did not mean for us to join with them. They were here to put hell on us to make us remember for us to keep the commandments of the Most High. So we need to remember that and turn to Him, and He will bring down our enemies because He set it up that way. Nobody else could deal with them. The Most High set it up that way for Him to do what He's doing so that we can turn to the Lord and for the Lord to put His ass to death right in front of us. So that's what we're looking for. So I'm happy that day is coming. So I just want to say that to you, brothers and sisters. I know that a lot of what y'all saw was quite gut-wrenching and spiritually twisting. It shook up a lot of people, but all praise to the Most High. We had the opportunity to do that, and thank you, brothers and sisters, who supported the Booster Club that allowed us to do that thing. So for myself, Bishop Yalsop, and the crew, we say shalom and happy Sabbath to you all.
Shalom, Israel.
Okay, and on behalf of my crew, come on, y'all never gave me your slide. Y'all never gave me the slide. I got brothers on the cameras, brothers on the computers and the different switches and the different boards in there. I see Officer Gidron. I see Soldier Michael. I see Soldier Manasseh and Officer Gabriel. So I think I got everybody except maybe one. Who else?
Officer Israel.
And Officer Israel. He's on the computer. Soldier Micaiah. All praise to the Most High. All right.
And Officer Markai.
And Officer Markai.
Yes,
all right.
Appreciate y'all,
all
fellas.
praises. All praise to the Most High.
Keep up the good work.
Brothers and sisters, we're gonna sign off and we're gonna end. And we'll be back next week, Lord will. All right.
That's right.
Shalom, Israel.
All right.
Most High
Shalom,
Christ
Israel.
bless you. Happy Sabbath.
Most High Christ
All
bless.
right.
Be ready for Fix Your Face.
When I talk about the Mali Empire, I'm talking about present-day Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Senegal, Chad, part of Nigeria.